So what you're telling me is I should just start rolling the microphones?
Yeah, start the mics.
In that inevitable way that I do? Alright, hold on. I gotta, it's been a little while, but I gotta change up my whole thing again. So hey everybody. This episode is brought to you by our patrons, like Ahagao Comics, Qua, Kylie Denton, and Nestor Flores. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thanks everybody for your support. So, yeah, there's that.
I'm sorry, I just got back from eating, like, a fuck ton of food, so I am, like, fighting off the, itis.
Yeah, today I learned, lucky a while ago, I think it was a couple weeks ago, you learned that when I say I'm gonna eat, that means I'm gonna do it fast. Today I learned that when Lucky says he's gonna go and eat, that's gonna take forever.
Well, it takes forever because I actually went out to eat.
Yeah, I figured that.
Like, because,
I admit, though, that I don't know your life and where you live. Well,
because
much like sleep, to me, food is it's a weakness of the flesh. Sure, I don't eat anything that I don't like the taste of, but goddamn, food has never ever stopped me from wanting to do the work.
Like, it's like, here's the thing, because like, I already had it planned out, because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get up because I'm excited to do today's show. I'm very excited to do today's show. So I, like, fucking made myself some rice balls. I'm like, I'm gonna save these for the morning. So when I wake up, I don't have to cook. I just have to grab some rice balls. Boom. Sit. Eat. I'm literally in the middle of unwrapping my rice balls from the fridge when my roommate goes, hey, do you want to go out to eat? I was like, I don't know. It's like, we're going to the homestead. I'm like, I'm fucking down. The homestead is, like, this old country, like, breakfast food kind of, restaurant where you get, like, giant-ass fucking portions and it's all, like, Southern comfort food kind of shit. I'm like... And I was like, and then he like sealed the deal with like, I'll pay. I'm like, fuck.
So we got you with the free tasty food.
Mm-hmm.
See, that wouldn't have worked on me. As much as I love breakfast, I'm like, fuck, man. I have a toaster, waffles. Let's go.
No, so
that's
like,
you said like giant portions. Like that's probably another fundamental difference of our existence. I'm not a big meal eater. Like, if I go out anywhere, I usually eat, like, half the food, and I'm like, I'll put this in a to-go box, and I'll eat it tomorrow.
Yeah, so listen, I had planned because I had got up, like, at, like, 12:50. Like, I rolled out of bed, got on the computer. My computer was on because I was able to keep it from dying. Like, I check our Discord. Omega says, like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, righto. I'm getting ready. I say I'm gonna snack up and coffee down. Literally go out to get my rice ball snack and my coffee. And I got hoodwinked. So yeah, that took fucking going out to eat. Like, honestly, it's like, now that I think about it, yeah, it does take a long time. But to be fair, like, we also went to, my friend he needed to go shopping real quick. And I'm like, I didn't want to be like that dude's like, no, we need to go home because I have shit to do. It's like, no, you just went out and treated me to food. I can't just like fucking, like say, no, do what I want now. But that didn't take that long. So, I don't know. I figured as long as we got started, like, around 3-ish, which we kind of did.
Yeah.
We should be alright. But...
Well, I mean, we're already back a bit because of yesterday's snafu with LTFGO, so we're already cycled back a few days in terms of releasing.
Yeah, so...
Why, yes, this will take all night to render, but hey, that's how it be.
As I said, the way through Lucky's heart is, one way is definitely through his stomach. I like food.
Listen, I love food and sleep, but like I said, I don't let those stop me. This episode's gonna go on for like 2.5 hours. I'll be super hungry by the time it's done, but hey, whatever. Alright, well, since we got that out of the way, might as well tackle one of the big things first, in that we're not turning it into a big thing, and say that, hey, in case you don't follow me on Twitter, I finished Kingdom Hearts 3 last night, and tweeted about it. Took a picture of my end screen. And,
I didn't do that for mine, I should have.
Yeah, I think the short version, all you need to know is, I cried a little. Which, if you've been following our content at all, is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I need to know, like, where you cried. Was, like, after everything was done? Was there a particular scene?
No, as soon as the ending started rolling, they started playing that fucking orchestral remix of, Simple and Clean, and I was like, I'm dying!
Okay, I can understand, like, yeah.
Like, after... Because, here's the thing. I'll say this. Well, let's caveat this in two parts. So one, I think because we've done this, we're gonna do like we said, and we're gonna do a separate Let's Talk format episode. If you have, that'll be more scripted and more structured, similar to our Let's Talk FGO. Or we've actually done a couple of these on other games. We started this format with Life is Strange, and we've also done one on Extella. So we'll probably do it that way, and we'll kind of like collect our thoughts and format them, and we'll have like spoiler versus non-spoiler sections. Sometimes when we do that, we have guests on. I feel like, this is once again me spitballing to Lucky without any preamble, but I feel like we know a lot of people in the community who are in the Kingdom Hearts 3 thing, and so I don't necessarily want to exclude anybody, but at the same time, I know from experience from just talking with the community the other night, that's a lot of voices at once, and that's gonna kind of like cramp our style a little bit. So
well,
what
I definitely know, because some of our vocal people definitely will talk over each other and get moody.
So I think what I might want to do instead is do that as a live recording, so that people who are interested can kind of like give their own feedback to plot points, or even ask us to clarify our opinions in show.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, as a way for them to like feel like, you know, our community, because we've also been going kind of back and forth with the community on this, like has a little bit of input, but also we aren't going to get bogged down with like 50 people talking, because like I said, a lot of people are into this. So that's
also,
the first
I get
bullet
moody
point
too, because when I can't talk, Lucky gets angry.
Yeah, so, but for me, like, here's the thing. When people were talking about, oh, everything's at the end, they were right. They got me. Like, that, the finale section, that got to me on my, considering that I did the whole epic adventure to just build up to this moment, right? Like, so I was there the whole time. And, you know, the moment you get to the crossroads and Xehanort and his posse just roll up, I'm like, I'm sold. I'm there. And then I just kind of just wrote it out, right? On that moment of just me constantly asking myself, are my anime children going to be all right? The answer is no. Not all of them were all right. Thank you very much. But yeah, so I was just riding that emotional roller coaster, and then, like I said, the music starts playing, the fucking door opens, Mickey gets to go home, I'm like, I'm dying, I'm dead. Ooh. You know, I'm getting a little watery just thinking about it. And then fucking Shion comes out in like a normal-ass dress, and I'm like, yes! Yes! Oh. But yeah, so, like, it hurt, but it was a bit like Devilman. It was a good pain. It was like, yes, and then no. But then I watched the Secret movie, so I was okay. Like I said, I wanna sketch out some more complex thoughts about how Kingdom Hearts 3 works vis-a-vis the whole of the franchise. Was it what I wanted when I went in? No, because I wanted this to be over. I wanted me to close the book that is Kingdom Hearts, as opposed to the chapter. But
yeah, it doesn't really feel like an end.
No. This sets up way too many fucking plot points. Like this, I mean, especially the secret ending. I mean, this, like I said, the secret movie makes me feel better. I had to go look it up on YouTube because I didn't spend that much time hunting down secret emblems. But like when you watch it and you kind of get the picture, you're like, God damn it, Nomura, you're doing the thing again. Like it's invigorating to be like, yes, thank God. Some of my anime children are still okay, but at the same time, it's like, son of a bitch. On the other hand, people who love The World Ends With You can be happy. I'm gonna have to track that game down. I still have a functional DS. I never got around to playing it.
It was good. I liked it. I really liked it.
I mean, I've heard it was really good. I just like it. Mm-hmm. I had a very limited slice of games I got on the DS, and I never got around to getting The World Ends With You. Much like I never got around to getting Okami Den. But I think I will, because, hey, not to spoil the whole of the secret movie if you want to, like, try and earn it yourself, but there's a deliberate reference in it that is a reference specifically to The World Ends With You. Yeah. It's motherfucking stuff. God damn. No, bro. Ooh, he's crazy. But yeah, no, like, it's the whole experience was a ride, and just, the other thing I want to say that's just my pure, like, emotional gut reaction shots is I need the soundtrack. I need to inject it into my body. Just the OST and that through that whole final act was just phenomenal. So much good new music and so many good remixes of old music. It's a masterclass. I mean, are there still like I said, when I started this opinion, was it what I wanted? No, and it didn't give me what I asked it for, but I still had emotional investment in the experience, and I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think this is where the major difference between you and me is since I didn't make that whole journey, all my feelings on like all this shit happening was a lot more muted.
Yeah, you didn't have the incredibly crazy Kingdom Hearts cramming investment that I did, where I was like, no, all of these people.
Like I had some I had some moments, but like so we could talk a little bit about spoilers.
Yeah,
here,
we can talk a little bit about it because there's a
couple
of points. I do think I want to hit on just my general opinion.
Because for one, I got confused. Like the first time Xehanort wrecks your shit, you literally go back in time and redo everything. Except the second time around, a lingering will shows up and wrecks some stuff. Because I hadn't like played all of Birth by Sleep, I had no fucking idea who Lingering Will was. So all I see is this armor show up, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, you have to know who the lingering Will is character. Also, hey, guess what? The dialogue that explains why that happens, completely optional. In the final world, you run into a star that is Naminé, and you have a conversation with her, where she says that she's going to trace the connection to Terra, which is, I assume, why the second time around, Lingering Will shows up and then immediately fucks off, which is a little bit weird.
Yeah, I know, like, that completely, like, blew me off, because, like, it shows up, it saves your ass, and then it's gone.
It's a really badass moment. It plays a remix of his boss theme from 2 Final Mix, because he's the super ultra secret boss, who's the hardest.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's like, and I thought it was cool, but at the same time, no idea what was happening.
Yeah, context clues. There was a lot of investment that you needed to follow all these fucking people. And
when
the game tries to pay off on everything, which I do think it does kind of lend to it being a little cluttered. Some characters are minimally used, like, overall.
Yeah, like, another, like, badass scene is when you get help from the past, literally. Like, again, badass scene. I had zero context for what the fuck was happening. It was one of those things, like...
I watched the crossback cover, but that, to me, was phenomenal, because once I started seeing those names, I, like, put two together, I'm like, holy shit, those are real people's usernames who played the browser/mobile game. And that's them helping you. I'm like, holy shit, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I understood that immediately when I saw the usernames, but at the same time, I'm like, the guy who shows up, I'm like, who is this guy? It's like,
that's your Femmer.
Where do you come from?
He's a special future past I don't fucking know. Listen, I did everything other than actually play Key, but goddamn, X. Yeah,
so it's like again, like, I feel like, these sequences are...
Though I do have to ask,
like,
I saw a shitload of names that had the yellow mask and the red mask. I gotta cross-reference which, because there's like 6 factions, you can join 6 unions. I gotta wonder which unions those were, because those were clearly the pop. Oh, you can only join 5? Oh, right, so there's 5 apprentices. I keep forgetting, because there's only 6 apprentices, and then Lushu fucked off. So there's 5 unions. So who are the red mask and the yellow mask, because they must be popular, because I saw a lot of them. I mean, like I said, this is what I meant, Axe, when I said that the game didn't give me what I wanted. Kairi was fucking useless, as usual.
Yeah.
Her animations, when she actually was briefly playable, was neat, but it was like, I feel kind of annoyed that her and Axel or Lee were such bait and switches, because they set up that you could, especially with Xehanort, they set up that you can replace darknesses, so you can replace lights. That's why, like, I think you guys talked about how Roxas seemed all of a sudden. No, like, to me, I was like, okay, no, I got that. Roxas said, Xehanort asked him, how did you get here? And Roxas was like, same fucking way as you. And I'm like, no, okay, that's cool. That's good that we're actually turning the...
Yeah, I know, but
well,
how the
also,
fuck did you get his heart?
That's not a plot point. Like, that's the same thing for Sora. Like, I think people make too much of that. She doesn't remember because that was a million years ago. She was, like, 5 when Birth by Sleep happened. She doesn't fucking remember. Mickey didn't remember, and he was there and an adult. Like, that shit happened once. No, but she just says it's fuzzy because it is. It was super long ago, and she had a weird, stressful, traumatic journey.
You see, the thing with Roxas bothers me is because isn't, like, Roxas' heart supposed to be inside Sora? How the fuck did it get to the replica, and then the replica get there?
Time travel. I think that's what he meant when he said same way as you. The vessel was prepared, so in the future, Roxas' heart has to get out of Sora and ends up in the body. And or it's like with Shion, where the some of the meta plot to what the organization is doing is they're trying to figure it out how to recreate, hearts from data, and Shion doesn't become really real until Sora/Roxas remembers who she is and acknowledges her. Then her heart becomes real again. So
yeah, you see, like this is
theoretically,
like ridiculously
I don't know if they're actual they left it open ended to be like, is Roxas? Did they recreate Roxas from data and then just because of his friends connected from him, they show up? But Kingdom Hearts has always been wiggly about that. The entire plot is relegated on the idea of time travel shenanigans where you don't get to keep your body.
Yeah, like honestly,
and also like they have a full blown bait and switch with Dark Riku/Riku Replica number 2, where you question, is he just Riku from the past, or no, he's the second version of the Riku Replica, and then the first Riku Replica actually kind of has like an interesting moment where he actually comes back from falling into darkness, and Riku gets to be the one who's multiple people now. Isn't that great? Riku, you can high five yourself.
So this is, other words, it seems that it's a very convoluted plot to explain some simple shit.
It is, which is always been kind of how Kingdom Hearts is. Once you get past the surface level, the game was always kind of simplistic and fairy tale-esque. And Nomura, I think, really likes that type of storytelling with some of the convoluted, like, high-level metaplot stuff, like the big proper nouns. I mean, like I said, I bought it, whatever. I like honestly, the plot hits all the, or I should say, the plot styling is fine with me just because I love that stuff anyway. So, there are some technical points, like I said, I think ultimately the problem with 3 is that, besides just pacing in general, but I think we'll talk about that when we do actually our full-blown talk, but I think the question mark, also thank you X for saying that, you've brought me a bullet point I need to remember to actually say on air. But I think the problem with 3 is that after all those games, because of like time and displacement and people being separate and telling all these stories while other people are out of commission, because that is a very Kingdom Hearts thing to do, to be like, oh, characters can't be here because they have fallen into darkness or they've gotten lost or whatever. That's a very continuous theme about these characters that, like, dude, sometimes people are just dealing with their own shit, basically. Which means that there are a lot of core characters. If in the main characters section of Jiminy's Gummy Journal, by the way, great fucking scene when he's like, "Hi everybody, I'm Jiminy Cricket. If you want to figure out what the fuck happened, read my journals." So great. Axel's lines in those scenes, and then the fucking call out to Xemnas. Nobody acts as Axel. Got it memorized. Oh, that's great. But the fact that the core cast was so built up, there are so many sets of 3s and 4s and whatevers that we all have to address, and we all have to put them on screen and kind of resolve their lingering plot points, that it was very complex to actually have character arcs for everybody, so some people don't have character arcs, and that's just, sometimes that's how ensemble casting gets. So for me, I have 2 desires for either future games or, specifically Kingdom Hearts 4. Number 1, either you need to do kind of like what the game did earlier, where, you know, Riku and Mickey have their own mission and then you have your own mission, except that your mission doesn't matter. Is do that, just only actually make it matter. It's once again, it's like I think this is a problem with Kingdom Hearts in general, is that we want Sora to be the main character because he's literally the Christ figure, much like Harry Potter. You know, he is eminently messianic, so he's super important to everybody, and we have to keep him in the loop, and has to stay connected. But also, because he's Sora, he never fucking accomplishes anything except at the end when you beat up all those people. You know what I mean? Like, he's never off doing something on his own. He's always either asleep or he's the main character and he's going to accomplish stuff. But because who he is, he doesn't understand what the fuck's going on, right? So they need to actually either narrow down the game and make everybody actually busy in a reasonable fashion and have Sora actually do something on his own, which who knows, they may do. Saw that secret movie. Or they need to go a bit like what they did with 358 and just make all those characters playable. Fuck it. Just make it so you can Like, those little teases, that little bit you get to play as Aqua, those couple of times you get to play as Riku, right? Those were super interesting and actually really well placed and thematic. Do the whole game that way. Just do, like, Birth by Sleep It again, or whatever you want to do it, however you want to call it. Just actually make all the quote-unquote main characters playable in a single title, or give them something to do that is not be in the same scene, because there are just... The game literally doesn't know how to handle that many characters.
I can see it 3 sets of 3.
Yeah, like, think about it. Like, when you actually, as cool as the scheme of Severance is, what do? They split off into groups, and they gang up on you, which naturally they have to do, but, you know, because, well, they're outnumbered anyway, so it would be that way, but, like, at the same time, it's also it means that they can manage the fact that you only have to team up with each guy at the same time, and so, once again, the game doesn't have to track 6 other people, and maybe 8 more with Donald and Goofy, right, all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Or more when you actually get Terra back, etc. So, yeah, I think the problem with, the quote-unquote problem with Kingdom Hearts 3 that it has is just that the setting and the franchise has too much scope now, it has too many characters, it needs to reinvigorate its design paradigm a little bit, to throw some buzzwords at you, and, like, actually either needs to get a tighter focus or a much broader focus. And my number 2 desire, aka my actual true number 1 desire for Kingdom Hearts 4, by the way, warning, I'm gonna bang on my desk. Let Sora and Kairi kiss! You fucking blue-balled me twice, game. Don't do that. They're teenagers, they can kiss a little bit. There was a sunset, you leaned in, you had the framing. Just let it happen. Fuck you. That's it, that's all I got.
I don't know, like seriously, like, Kingdom Hearts 1 was all about Sora trying to find this girl. 2 just kind of fucks off. 3 also fucks off, and all of a sudden there's supposed to be a couple at the end. Like, I don't buy that.
Well, no, because the reason why, because once again, I think you're not thinking of this in the context. No, you don't fuck off in 2. You've been asleep for a while, and so nobody remembers Sora until everybody suddenly remembers Sora. And, like, Sora thinks, oh, Kairi's safe back on the island for, like, 50% of the game. And then Axel kidnaps Kairi, and it's like, fuck, I gotta save Kairi again. God damn it. I thought she was okay. I was gonna bring Riku back, and then we were all gonna be friends together, and it was gonna be cool, and it is not cool. And then, at 2, they were fine. Everybody was back together, it was gonna be cool, and then it wasn't cool again. I mean, Sora even has this whole monologue at the very end, before he does the final, Power of Waking, which is just... No, I'm not gonna relax and plan this out. I have the power to go find her. I'm gonna go find her and bring her back, because that's been my entire life story up until now, and I'm getting sick of this shit. So I hope that motivation sticks together. But also, they finally shared the goddamn Paopu fruit, which is great. Thanks for actually resolving something.
Yeah. That I appreciated, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Axe. Like, the problem is that as much as the themes get me, right, like, the themes are definitely on point, like I said, like, I super enjoyed the actual climax. At the same point, from a meta-narrative standpoint, Kingdom Hearts is also starting to get really repetitive, and I kind of get the cyclical elements, right? That's kind of the point. On the other hand, I really hope that final cutscene where young Ericus and young Xander are like, let's play a different game, is actually, like, setting up to, like, no, we're actually going to kind of evolve the story a little bit. Because now that I think about it, what I understand of X is that it is kind of a different sort of narrative to the game. Like, it uses some of the similar elements, but the actual kind of way they explore the themes and stuff is different. So if we're bringing in the X or the Kai stuff forward into the main game timeline, which, by the way, is what the epilogue is entirely about, hopefully we can actually kind of, like I said, like, actually shift the paradigm of the games and the gameplay and the actual game storytelling a little bit. But yeah, so I'll sort out some final thoughts. If you want, like, my blow on the worlds again, Pirates is fine. I actually enjoyed that there was an actual excuse to get you out of the plot for most of it, and I mean, honestly, almost all of them are padding. Actually, honestly, the some of the worlds are almost like pure padding, like Pirates, Tangled, Frozen. almost pure padding. Those don't actually matter. Well, I guess kind of the idea with pirates matters a little bit, but not really. Because Vexen's like, ooh, can we learn some stuff about a guy who has his heart outside his body? How does that work? Oh shit, that was literal, not figurative. Shit. But I think Toy Box, Monsteropolis, and San Francisco are actual way more key foreshadowing to the game, because that's that's Vanitas and like how does he exist again, and explaining that Ventus is in Sora and the organization's greater plan. And San Francisco and Toy Box are we're trying to recreate Hearts from Data again, and that kind of explains how some of those characters like Shion show back up, because that's their filling out the ranks plan, is if we can artificially recreate some of our members, which is interesting. But like I said, a lot of it's padding. That said, I can kind of understand why the game took so long, and I feel like some of it was designed by committee, because it kind of was. Apparently, Disney did take a more direct creative control in Tangled and Frozen. It was like 5 years of development, I think. And also, despite the fact that that I've heard that the Pixar guys are actually fans of the game, and actually liked it. Also, they took a long time to get back to Nomura on their creative input for like the worlds and stuff. And I think the problem that Nomura's running into now, or just the Square Enix team in general, is that they're making worlds and stuff based on movies by people who are still alive and still working those franchises. So they want creative control and they want creative involvement. Some of them because they like the games, but still they want to be a part of it, which is slowing down the process and may have overcomplicated stuff like we said, like Tangled and Frozen, to make them quite so movie-like. But yeah, no, like I said, hopefully, I'm actually, honestly watching the Secret movie, I'm actually, super interested, because it seems a little bit like Nomura and Square are gonna kind of get off the leash a little bit. And, if they want to do some weird shit, that's fine. Go weird. Your game setting is already trippy. Scala ad Caelum is one of the better sequences in the game, just because of how weird and Kingdom Hearts it is. Go for it. Do it. Be all the Kingdom Hearts you can be. And also, like I said, make all those players character. You gave them all these fancy pants animations. What the fuck? Heck, just do the 0.8 treatment or whatever. Just make a dumb 10-hour
dress up time.
Yes, there's also that, but also make a 10-hour dumb game where you could just play as these guys in engine. You've got all their fucking animations.
Yeah, they're running around with you.
And apparently in the boss fight, Rock's super broken. You can actually kick back and just let him solo Saix, which is hilarious. On the other hand, that means he's got some fucking sweet attacks. But yeah, also the other thing is wow, I should just leave this for the review. Let's see, how long have we been doing this? 30 minutes. Yeah, let's just move on. We're gonna actually sort all our thoughts out in a document type form.
So
we were jacking around for 10 minutes before you showed up, X. So
I want to ask him, how'd you feel about particulars final battle with Xehanort?
I mean, you were right about the speaker thing. That was great.
Yeah. Honestly,
like I said, no, the arena is one of the most interesting and best design. I'll admit, once again, you might be at a disadvantage because you jumped straight to 3. If people have said that 3 is easier than some of the games in the series, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's much smoother to play. Armored Xehanort had some annoying combo strings or attack types that were oh, what the fuck do you want me to do? I guess you want me to air block all these fucking fireballs, but that doesn't seem whatever. I sucked it up. I Kiraga'd a lot, and hey, guess what? I only really got to use Rage Form since the Skein of Severance period, so that saved my ass a lot. The mandatory segment with Xehanort and the Keyblade is super cool, but just in general, that saved my ass so much in those last couple boss fights. But yeah, no, the ending sequence is pretty good to me, and like I said, I had a lot of investment. When fucking Xemnas, Young Xehanort, and Ansem all show up, and it plays the fucking music, the remix, I'm like, yes, this is great. And fuck Young Xehanort, that smug prick. Fuck you. Especially since you're wrong, motherfucker. I lost. Your story is done now. You died. And I didn't die because I know they're gonna make more fucking games. God damn it. But yeah, no, the whole, like I said, the whole climax was great for me.
Yeah, it makes me feel a little lonely. I'm not gonna lie. Because as I said, like, I didn't have that spirit. Like, there were some moments where my heartstring was definitely tugged. Like, when the other trios got reunited and they're crying with each other, I'm like, oh my god, I might cry. Like, meeting up with, like the moment, like I was telling you with, when, Sora's like, I'm gonna go in it alone, and Donald and Goofy just start walking with him like it's the most natural thing in the world. Like, that made me like, I was like, oh god, my heart. And of course, you know, the whole, Sora!
Yeah, when you... Also, that was a great subversion. You get him down to your last HP, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna press the triangle button to end it. Oh, shit.
Nope. And it was good, and you know, power of friendship. In the end, it was the power of friendship.
Well, that's always what it's been.
Yeah, no, so, you know, I always felt that was, like, super on point.
No.
But, like, as I said...
Honestly, 3 is probably the most on-message Kingdom Hearts. Like, you can get. It is super on point. Fucking friendship and hearts and connections make everything. Xehanort turns that around on you a couple times. Like, he actually abuses the fact that you're so strong because of your bonds a few moves. Like, I mean... It is great that, like, as much as it is just such an unceremonious, you know, end of Kairi's character involvement, when he kills her to get Sora to fight him, that's like, no, that's entirely on point and perfect. That's exactly what you need to do, because that made Sora be dumb and fight him, which gave him the last conflict he needed. But yeah.
We're gonna have to sit down, like I said,
we'll have to put our thoughts on this and, like, divide it into segments.
We're gonna have to write them down.
Yeah. And that'll be Let's Talk Kingdom Hearts 3.
Alright, so where do we want to go from here? We got quite a few topics to talk about today.
Well, I don't know what you want to talk about. I just talked a lot for 30 minutes.
Alright, well, I guess I'll talk about some... Let's move into some gacha games. So, in case you don't follow me on Twitter, basically last week, after my grind with the points ladder event in Girls Frontline, I decided to sit down and get to grind with Arctic Warfare. And, as usual, it was fucking bullshit. Less bullshit, though, because, actually, someone actually called us out, last week in the comments, and I tested it out, but yes, actually, sniper rifles cannot miss armored enemies. Like, okay, I literally...
So, yeah, I read that comment. I mean, I still think it's bad, because it's like, it's still a problem, because you need to bring armor killers because of armored units, but then when you fight non-armored units, they have nothing.
Yeah,
right?
no,
I get the fact that they're kind of balancing it out, but
yeah, no, in Arctic Warfare, there are definitely night missions where there are not armored enemies, so that logic doesn't apply. But in the general scheme, yeah, where it's just armored enemies, yeah, you have no problems. I was literally running Walther 2000 through night mission solo, and she was just literally mopping the floor with them. I was like, okay. But, as I said, that's only for armored enemy. When you get the enemies like the tiny little drones that have increased evasion, you're there for a while trying to shoot this tiny little fucker. And it's not cool. But I worked hard. I worked really hard. Like, in a matter of like a week or so, a few days, I was able to get up to like 440 red envelopes opened. I got a lot of loot. But one of the problems with the red envelopes, I'm not entirely sure how it worked, but I think it was one of those lottos is when you empty it out, it refills itself. So you don't actually get any closer to whatever thing you're getting. You just have a chance for like one of everything. Because like I got the special costume, which you were supposed to get at like 999 envelopes. I just got it randomly as a drop. I got 3 Type 95s. I got 2 of the poster girl sniper rifle. I didn't get any Type 97s, which is what I really wanted. And like I got like multiple copies of like the 5-star furniture pieces, but like multiple copies of the same piece. Like I didn't get like I was able to complete like both sets of them, but I was only able to get like one of the final piece, while I was getting like 3 or 4 of like other pieces. I was all like, come on. It was a little frustrating. But not quite as frustrating as the final map in the game. Until I figured out that literally half the map was literally useless, that you didn't need to even fuck with it. Which, again, like, speaks to the bad map design. Like, so, in the final map of Arctic Warfare, where you have to fight, like, copies of Gager and the big boss Architect, the map is literally split into, like, 2 parts, and you have your command center post on one side, and you just have a random-ass heliport on the other side. And, you know, you can load up both of them and, you know, fight your way. The first time I did that, that's what I tried doing. I tried to, I put units on both sides, and, you know, I tried to maintain, you know, my advantage on both sides. It was like, until I realized that because the way the map was designed, because units have to obey the one-way paths too. And units can't cross through other units. Like, for all the other bullshit, these things remain true. I realized that the map literally divided itself in half, and you only needed one half to get to the boss. And you could have picked either side. So I was all like, why the fuck do I need to, like, be on this other half? Especially if I leave it, like, especially since the, heliport, if you even just leave it the fuck alone, it still takes the enemy, like, 3 or 4 turns to take it over. Which gives me plenty of times to roll up, like, extra echelons. And that's what I did. So I literally just ignored, like, one half of the map, focused on one side, and just shot straight for the boss. And because of the one-way paths and the fact that the Gager mobs don't move, and they don't let anyone pass through them, like, nothing from the other side can get to my side, so I just have to worry about it. So I was like, I literally just cut this map in half. So basically, everything else on this other half was useless and didn't need to be in the game. Because even with just the half I had, it was still a fucking challenge. Because of the one-way paths and how the game was built, I had to manually, every time I wanted to fight the boss, I had to manually withdraw my main echelon, one of my main echelons, so I can cycle them back and repair them. I went through, like, I posted this on my Twitter, actually. Let me see here. Like, I went through so much of my resources. Where is it? Ah, here it is. I went through so much of my resources, I literally had 117 manpower left. Like, total. I had 212 MREs. Like, I was doing okay on ammo and, parts. But because I was doing so much repair and so much moving about, like, I had to, like, I almost ran out. I had to actually spend some of my gems on extra manpower just so I would have enough. And I had to spend the gems because I finished the last map, like, with 24 minutes to spare. Like, that's how close to a wire I was. It was, nuts. But I got the extra medal. I got the, Griffin medal. It's bitchin'. Got the map. I even decided, because I felt so proud of myself, I spent my friend points on the Arctic Warfare ID card. It's actually pretty cool. It has the big Jupiter cannon on it. It's like, bam! That's what people see now when they look at my ID card. Great. But it's like, again, it's one of those things of, like Arctic Warfare, on top of being, like, extra hard with all its extra gimmicks, it's just, like, a lot of extra space not needed. Like, I don't even want to think of, like, the fucking bullshit if I tried to hold, like, both sides at once instead of just abandoning one. Like, that would have just been, like, a major pain in the ass. Not to mention, like, I definitely didn't have the echelons to maintain. Like, I have 2, like, decent level, echelons. Like, my main echelon, the one that has, like, Thompson, Walter 2000, frickin' Grizzly, type 97 or 95, I don't know. It's the one with the red ribbon. And G41? I can't remember the name. Yeah, that one's like, that gives me like a total combat effectiveness of 30,000. And that's not enough to actually beat like the final boss on its own. Like the final boss on her own was something like over like 40 something. So we have to throw 2 echelons at her every time. And this was another one of those points of bullshit in Arctic Warfare. Because like basically how the boss works is every time she hits like a certain percentage of HP loss, she does her special move. And, you know, and so like, I usually try to get on, like with the first echelon, I try to get her down to like, you know, half to 3/4 health before withdrawing them or they get wiped out. It's either or. It's either or. But when I bring in the second echelon to finish her off, she will use her special back to back to back in reflection of how much HP she's already lost. So I get into the battle, and I have to somehow eat and dodge, like, 3 of her specials while she is invincible the entire fucking time. It's literally like me. I have to stand there. It's like, all right, I'm gonna punch you like 6 times before, and you have to stand there and take it. Now we can fucking fight. I'm like, God, fucking damn it. There's also this is a problem because one of the tactics that Girls Frontline has you use is you can move your T-dolls in combat, but it's a pain in the ass sometimes because sometimes they'll move, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they won't recognize that you're trying to move them, and it's quite frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, but trust me, you do not want to sit there and try to tank Sangaferis doll's special attacks. It's not good. It's never good.
Which is kind of annoying, like,
yeah,
because a large portion of the game mechanics are built on tanking, right? You have a couple of different classes you use to tank. You will use SMGs to evade tank, and just they're supposed to have stuff miss them long enough that your other units can kill them, and shotguns can take armor, so they will actually literally take minimum damage from most enemies.
Yeah.
So requiring you to use the actual movement grid mechanic is like, blah. It's super slow and finicky, right? Like, and you can't pause and move, which is a terrible thing for a strategy game. Is you can't stop it to consider your options and then be like, okay, you not like don't move them while it's paused, but can I set up to start them moving while it's paused? No, fuck you.
Yeah. No, I literally have to like grab a touch, and like and it gets weird because if like you're using skills at the time, it fucks up. Like sometimes because
skills have different levels of priority.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's hard. It was hard. I'm glad it's done. Like, I don't actually like even feel like particularly like better at the game for completing it. It's just all like, I literally like beat my head against a brick wall until it broke.
Yeah,
but it was, you know what, like, and now like because I'm like so drained on resources, like I didn't have enough resources to repair all my girls. I had to space it out over like several days, like because I had like 5, 10, each. I had like 14 girls in critical at the end. And this was like at the end of like every time I did this fucking map. Like my heart was breaking for these girls. I placated them with a lot of fucking candy and sweets.
Hey Lucky, I hate to interrupt your story, but once again, playing Azur Lane while you're talking. Hey, guess who showed up on another purple drop on the event maps? Now I have Erebus for the first time. I already had Terror, but that's a real fucking neato. Thanks, game. God, wouldn't it be great if Girls Frontline did like an advertise and you actually randomly got cool T-dolls as mission drops? Like, I don't remember. She's in one of my low-level echelons, but it was one of the... I think it was for Arctic Warfare. I got one of the rifles who is 4 stars just randomly on, not even on a boss drop. I'm like, okay, game? You gave me something? Question mark? Are you sure?
No, that happened to me.
This isn't an error?
I was all like, huh? This does not happen. But yeah, so Girls Frontline again, challenging my sanity. Right now they have their children's party thing where they have costumes of small T-dolls and they are fucking adorable.
Yeah, I'm glad one of them's free for logins. Yeah. I mean, now that I'm done, well, I'm not done with Kingdom Hearts 3. There's all this other stuff to explore that I didn't spend super a lot of time on, but I gotta assemble Ultima Weapon, fight the bonus boss, collect those secret reports, all that other fun stuff that I care about. But now that I'm not like powering through this entire franchise, I think I gotta devote a little bit more time to actually clearing the story. Because I don't even have RO yet. Like I never got through the latest.
Oh, really?
I'm not caught up on the story in Girls Frontline. So I gotta put a little work to fresh that out while we're not doing anything but like a login event and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And just chip away at those echelon mines, generate lots of combat reports because, hey, has this ever happened to you? My battery storage is full.
No, my battery storage is never full because I can fill up my fucking, like me doing experience, dailies gives me like over like it gives me it fills up my storage like 3/4 of the way, my experience storage. So yeah. I do the fucking experience things twice. I'm full. I'm fucking full. I need to like actually spin my batteries.
Yeah. So
not to mention I still
do work.
Yeah.
So clearly I have too many batteries and not enough EXP. So I got to work on this.
Yeah. Like I said, like again, the plateau is the plateau of the game is fucking being able to mindlessly farm the 3rd tier EXP node, which I can do. Like right now,
I'm working on it. Basically, my current setup for the 2nd EXP node is my highest level echelon, all of whom are over 80 now. They're at about 1500 power.
Like you still get experience out of the 3rd tier even if you don't complete it. You just don't get all of it.
Yeah, but it's rough. I'm at such a plateau where or such a stratification that like nobody can really do it without getting slaughtered. So it's like you're like at some points some of these guys can't even like beat minor levels. So it's like why would I bother? Like not enough of my units can participate, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they're really close to being about the level where I think we can start getting some like, I can brute force down those couple of hard ones and actually get everybody to decently contribute. But for the 2nd tier, I'm running them, and then I'm running my lowest level echelon, who are they just sit in the corner and power level.
Yeah. Yeah, because for frame of reference, I put in 4 level 100s and Contender, who was level 1. And ran them through the latest tier. Contender went from level 1 to level 30 in one go, and I still got like enough surplus EXP to like fill over half my storage.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like. It can be hard getting to that point. That's the one thing that I do like about Girls Frontline is there is actually a way to level your units if you put in the work. That's something I have a problem with in Azur Lane. Is just I'm like right now I've got like if it weren't for the fact that I don't have another Sakura ship that's over level 50ish, I'd have like a max level Sakura fleet, everybody in their 90s, max limit break and all that stuff. But it's really hard to get over that hump of actually finding somebody and being like leveling them at a decent rate. The dorm's helping a little bit, and I'm hoping that since I've got quite a few units who are starting to hit their level 100 cap now, I can actually start using the lecture hall more, but that's obviously like gated by class of ship. So it's just it is kind of annoying that there's not a good grind mechanic. Almost everything in Azur Lane is you're limited to a certain amount of tries per day, and there's none of them that's really a pure EXP one, right?
Well, I mean, you got your commissions, but those are 12 hours.
Yeah, they're
honestly,
long. Also, well, are they 12? Maybe you're a higher level than me.
They're 10 or 12.
Yeah,
but no, that's what 10. I use. Like,
but that's my fastest way. But that's still only 6 at a time, and you get one of those every 10 or 12 hours. And they require one of your units to be high level, so you need a babysitter. So you only really have 5 slots.
Yeah. Well, I just use someone that I'm still gonna level. Like right now, shoot, that's like how I've leveled York and Exeter. Like I don't use them. I just like they're sisters. I'll level them. They're level 100. Scharnhorst and Genesu, they're level 99 and 98 right now.
Mine are level 50 because they're sitting in my Ironblood fleet.
Like Dushland and Admiral Graspree are 82 and 71 respectively. Like this is how I level them. It's like, are they sisters? I'm gonna fucking level them. Fucking Saratoga and Lexington 76 and 68. Fuck, I ran Amagi through there for a little while. Then before I put her in the soccer fleet, and she's like level 90. What is it? 97. So
yeah, I did that similar with Amagi, though. For Amagi, because I really liked her, I did the whole combo. It was like, okay, you're going on commissions. You're in my dorm. You're like, okay, you're like level 80. Okay, you can actually come hang out in my teams, which are doing high level event shit.
Yeah, so it's like, fuck, like,
and well, also part of the beauty of that is, like I said, like my soccer fleet's like other than the fact that I have one weak link. I guess it's just because I never. Other than, like, Atago and Takao, there's not really another Vanguard ship that's Sakura fleet that I really like. Yeah. So it's all carriers and then a couple of the battleships who I can't use. So it's like, I guess, got attached to anyone's ship to be like, okay, I'm going to take you and drag you, because I still don't have Ayanami because Javelin's being lazy. Yeah, I have the 2 spare Javelins.
But, like, I look at this, like, every single one of my R's is meant, well, I take that back. The only SSR that I have that is not level 70 is Victorious. That's because I just got her. She's level 19.
Oh, yeah, no, I love my golds. So right now my Sakura fleet setup is, in the front line, it's Fubuki, because whatever, you're purple, you can join. And then it's Atago is 100, Takao is 99, Zuikaku and Shokaku are level 99 each, and then Amagi is level 85. And
One Flat Panda says for backline ships, putting them as the flagship gives them more XP. I did not
interesting.
know that.
Okay, hold on. Then I gotta rearrange that. I
Yeah,
usually give my strongest ship the flag, because if the flag dies, your whole team is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like cautious, but since I know that, I might rearrange a couple of my formations.
Yeah, that does make sense because Amagi is my Sakura flagship.
All right, let's reposition that. So
as I said, like
in my Royal Navy fleet, Queen Elizabeth will be the flag because she's the littlest in that setup. And we'll switch around it so Amagi is now flanked by the two sisters. That's good because they're going to be level 100 soon. So, okay.
Okay, yeah. See, like, let's see. But yeah, so it's like it's like Azur Lane requires you to have a rhythm for your grinding. It's not something you can just. Well, it is kind of fire and forget.
Well, yeah, it has a specific pattern of leveling, and if you really want to level a unit, you have to like set up this whole system of like I said, like, okay, you're coming into my dorm now, and I'm gonna send you on these commissions specifically, and like you have to like, because you only have so many slots, you have to like pick carefully and kind of like plan the growth of all these units, and work on stuff. So I guess we're talking about Azur Lane now.
Mm-hmm. As I said, like, I've been, I got Victorious, I got Grenville, and I got Jamaica. Jamaica makes me laugh. I wish I could afford her fucking, her motorcycle skin. Because that's sweet.
Yeah, I did pretty good, and I did a couple of 10 pulls, and I ended up with Victorious, Sirius, Grenville.
Yeah, I haven't got
did I get Sheffield yet? Let me check the doc. I think Sheffield's the one I'm missing, and I got Jamaica the other one because I'm doing 3 a day,
Mm-hmm.
Because I want those medals because I really need Duke of York, but it's a fucking lotto event. I will not be done in this time, game. You're not gonna fuck me over. Matchless, I'm going to extract you and that dumb duck wearing a royal palace guard uniform. I'm going to milk you out of that lotto, and then I'm gonna throw away the rest of that junk because I don't need it because I need York.
Yeah, Duke of York is good civilization, as we like to say.
Very much. Hey, when are they going to add Massachusetts? Because then that joke's really going to become relevant. The joke is that Mass looks a lot like Altera from Fate Grand Order.
Mm-hmm. Actually, isn't that in her joke? Let me see here. Wait, no, I have South Dakota and Minneapolis. Not quite yet.
No. God, I need so many fucking...
I was like, wait a minute. It's like I know there's some dark-skinned beauties in there. It's like, yeah.
I need some fucking prototype bullets. I got poor South Dakota. She's stuck at 90.
Oh, yeah, I married
doing exercises for spares of those ships is rough.
It is. I haven't been doing my exercises lately.
Yeah, I need to get back into exercises. I started a little bit of a grind for Eldridge because I have her costume randomly, and I'm like, shit, she's cute. I should get her anyway. But I kind of fell off when I was focusing on other events. But yeah, it's Azur Lane's fun. I like a lot of their level balancing. Like the fact that I can, as opposed to story mode right now, which I'm slowly slogging through. Whenever I have free time. Their event maps are usually like at least the A part. You can throw just whatever fucking formation at them. They're like level 30 or something, and you're like, finally, a breeze, easy XP. When you get to B, you usually have to bring your A game, ironically, but at the very least, like, you have the ability to work on those lower level maps and actually give your lower EXP units some work to do. Usually I do have to do that in hard mode. Yeah, it's fun. I like this event. We got some very sassy ship ladies right now.
Ship ladies are good. I have married some ship ladies. I have oathed Akagi and Kaga. Rip me. Like I tell people, I had to marry them at the same time because I need Kaga's absolute cold to counter Akagi's absolute fire.
Speed hot fire.
Yeah. But it's good, and I'm happy. So... Oh, shit. Oh, sorry, I'm playing Azur Lane right now because I was pulling up stuff. I'm like,
we're all leveling. Are we all not literally at this moment playing Azur Lane?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But
Who knows?
Yeah, as I said. So speaking of Azur Lane, there is a bit of a kerfuffle.
I was kerfuffled a little bit.
So basically, what would happen?
Well, there's two kerfuffles, I think.
I would say it's 1.5 kerfuffle.
Fair.
Because one's more strange than an actual kerfuffle.
Yeah, one's just they for once in their life they had a really weird communication, and the other one was just they had a really weird plan that they didn't tell anybody about, and it got really confusing, and then,
Yeah. So the smaller kerfuffle, I would say, is basically back through the last event. I can't remember the name of the ship. Actually, I think it's still in the fucking.
Yeah, it's still up there, which is the concern.
Which is the concern? Yeah.
Is it Ryujo?
Yeah, Ryujo. There was a Ryujo event that basically said it was going to run from a certain time to a certain time. What they meant by that is that the time to redeem the special tokens or whatever was going to the end. What a lot of people actually miss is that the actual event was only going on for half that time. Now, some people say, oh, they didn't explain that, and no, they did. They did, because that's how I understood it at first, because I remember it ended the same weekend that Arctic Warfare did, and I was bemoaning it because I didn't have time to farm, because I was balls deep in grinding FGO for Valentine's and Arctic Warfare because I had a fucking bone to pick with somebody. So I did not have time to do Azur Lane. But then some people were like, oh, no, it says it's going to this time. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, awesome. No, it was not that. So the information was in there, but the date is weird because here's the thing. I like it. The event, the Ryujo event, to gather all the shit only lasted 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
The time to exchange it goes on for an additional 7 days.
Yeah, you have a whole week to exchange points, but at the same time, it's a ladder, so it's not like it's a shop or something. It's just you have the total amount of points or you don't.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Especially since it's to get the last ship, you literally have to run a map 20, 30 times ish.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass.
It's a major pain in the ass. I'm yeah, you got I only had this much time, but why do I have so little time to do this?
Now, luckily, we have heard from some people who follow the general nature of AL that those little types of little missions, those will get repeated or other opportunities will come up to get that ship. But yeah, it's still just kind of really weirdly constructed.
It really was. So I'm I didn't understand because I didn't get her. I think I got 1,000 points, maybe. And that's just from
whatever.
doing
I was busy with other stuff too. I mean, she's a dragon, so that was cute. But otherwise, I'm fucking whatever.
I don't know. I saved the screenshot of her being badass. I was like, this girl's a bamf. Because even if everyone abandons me, I'll still do my duty. I'm like, oh my god, girl, you hardcore.
Yeah, she had whatchamacallit, an actual cool scene.
Yeah,
and a CG insert.
Yep, it was good. So, I wanted her, but at the same time, it's just Azur Lane, I think, the problem is with Azur Lane, because this actually we'll come into our next point, is they've actually, they actually released a letter for the second issue. The second issue is, right now they're rerunning, the Winter's Crown, or they're about to, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head.
I think it's already happened. They already
happened.
Did the Winter's Crown rerun. That's where some of the stuff came from, and we were like, oh, it's really cool.
Yeah, and then we were going to do Winter's Crown. What had happened is some of the assets from the rerun made it into our patch, which wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
They had to roll that back, and then they decided to release in a letter that they were going to give us a couple of the extra ships anyway.
Yeah, so the full explanation is they weren't going to give us Sirius and some other stuff, which were in the rerun version of the event, but because specifically the icon, while they were trying to give us our version, a test build leaked out, and the event icon in the rerun version is Sirius, there was well, shit, now people are expecting Sirius, what do we do?
Yeah. And a move that I think is actually very generous, they decided to give us the extra ships.
Yeah, they changed what, at least according to them, was their game plan, and decided to go with releasing the rerun assets, with the warning that they would not necessarily be doing it this way in the future, because... So the explanation is basically, not at this time, but soon, they're planning on raising the level cap and introducing submarine girls, which will be a whole new mechanical thing. Yeah, go ahead.
They did explain that they actually have a timeline of events they want to plan up and how they want to introduce new mechanics so that new players coming in don't get like immediately overwhelmed, and older players, still have a good amount of progress, which is something Girls Frontline could really learn from. Jesus.
Yeah, the spirit here with Azur Lane seems to be like, hey, we know that there's a lot of mechanic and stuff there in the future of this game. We don't want to throw all of them at you at once. We want to actually like space it out in a reasonable way so everybody has a chance to get acclimatized, and so that when these mechanics come out in like events and stuff, you're not just like completely SOL.
Mm-hmm. And so, but because they recognize that they goofed, because honestly, that's what they said. Like, they pretty much goofed, and they don't want to, like, and because they goofed, they're like, we might as well give you this.
Yeah, what they said was they unfortunately raised some expectations, and they were like, I guess when you're in that position, you're like, okay, so our choices are, we can reveal to them that we didn't intend to put Sirius in the event, and people will be annoyed because they really like her for some reason. That's one of those things where I'm like, I mean, I don't know, she's gold, she's got a sword, that's kind of cool, but like, alright. Listen, there's a lot of ship girls, I can't get enthusiastic at everything. Victorious, though, that's really sweet.
I think, if I'm gonna say it, I think it's because it's the fact that they showed that they had the potential to put something in, and they didn't. That means that they are willfully denying their players something, and they didn't want to have that.
They are saying that they are deliberately not doing the rerun version of the event.
Yeah. So, some people were concerned that they were caving to peer pressure. I don't think that's necessarily what it is.
I think it was preemptive peer pressure. It was, okay, there's going to be a big stink about this. How much does it actually hurt our business plan / our roadmap to put the stuff in? And they're like, versus how much does it hurt us for people to be upset that we clearly had the potential to do this. We are making a choice not to, and we accidentally leaked that we were in this position.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, I'm uncomfortable with the idea that because players got their expectations up about the game in a way that it's not even like shit where like there was an E3 trailer or whatever, it's like they had an accident while they were trying to sort out the assets, basically. Because I'm sure, much like FGO, they have issues where they need to sort out the different app versions, because that's the whole thing. So it's not like it was a deliberate thing they did where they got our hopes up. That was an unintentional, as far as anybody can tell. That's what they said, and it doesn't really seem like they'd intentionally do it. So that I'm kind of like, that's a little like, I do feel kind of bad for them that it makes it feel like some people did kind of get their way on them, and I don't like. People should not be able to feel like they can strong arm creatives. But at the same time, also, I mean, every step of the way has technically still been their decision. Ultimately, they as far as we know, nobody really actually raised a stink. It was just because the assets leaked. It became a question: they haven't announced it yet? Are they actually going to do serious or not? I mean, it sure looks like they're going to do it. So the resolution to that was just, okay, you caught us. We weren't going to release serious, but since there was a confusion and a kerfuffle, we're gonna go ahead and do it anyway, even though that wasn't our original plan. We're sorry if we confused you. Please give us more gems.
Yeah, they actually, as I said, honestly, some people might question, how they handle, but again, they were honest and sincere, and they were transparent, and, what in their kerfuffle. Because, which I think is something that is, something that they should be lauded for, because, in business, you don't always show your hand. Sometimes that's bad.
No, sometimes that's letting people know how the sausage gets made, which you really don't want to do, because
no. There's some I know a lot of people's transparency is good. Semi-transparency is good.
Transparency when there's nothing going on is good. And honestly, if something really bad is going on, transparency is good, because then at least you have honesty on your side. But there's a middle ground where, you're doing, business mechanic stuff, and people don't need to know that. People don't need to know, because if people know too much, that raises that problem we talked about, where they get false expectations, and then shit happens. It's if you say, okay, we're very definitely gonna have a release date on this day, and this stuff's gonna happen, and then programmer man barks his shin on his way into work because the railings were bad on the stairwell or something dumb. There was an OSHA violation. He cracked his foot. He can't finish the code. We got to delay the game, or Then what do? You're stuck holding the bag, and then you have to go through this whole fucking story about this happened and that happened and whatever. And It serves nobody. It has no benefit, basically.
So that's why you wait till everything's done and ready to go. And it's like, all right, we're releasing it on this day. It's like for this Winter Crown event, like they weren't going to tell anybody that they weren't rerunning, like they were taking out the certain parts.
No, they were just going to not announce that the rerun parts like Sirius were going to be in it, which is the way to go. They're just going to be like, hey, we didn't announce them. You have no expectations.
Yep. But because the expectation was raised, they're like, fuck, now we have to either piss off the player base or annoy them at the very least, or give them something to hold them over. Heck. So, again, they were like, they tried to maintain, they tried to, put up their force field. Shit went wrong, and they had to be like, all right, here's a peek. Here's something under the covers to hopefully have you understand what's going on. Now we're going back to our usual shits.
And they said in the letter, they warned us, we have a roadmap, which may involve not including rerun versions of certain events, because we're working on we're raising the level cap, we're gonna introduce elements and stuff, right? And we want to give you time to catch up.
They also did a little bit. Gave a little bit of expectations because they actually mentioned other things. They mentioned that they're going to be attending a North American Expo this year. Like they're going to be setting up a booth. Like during the 1-year anniversary, players will get the chance to receive Avora after completing all event missions,
which is good because she was the closed. She was the closed beta testing, and some of the other... Was she in the open beta also?
Yeah, she was open beta.
Okay, so for all the beta... She was the beta tester ship.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm looking at the letter right now, so I'm just like...
On the other hand, when they say they're introducing submarines, I wonder who they're introducing, because some of these girls are adorable. On the other hand, also...
let's see here.
Goddamn, they're rarity.
Let's see. As for future events, we intend to give our commanders a wide breadth of time to acclimatize to the level cap of 110, as well as catch up on their main storyline progression. This means that rerun content for future events will not be included. We will choose an appropriate time down the road to release rerun content. Additionally, Hatsushima will be permanently added to the build pool at a later patch date once we have devised a suitable timeline for our introduction. Who is Hatsushima? I don't know.
Well, I'm on the wiki right now. I'll double check. Hatsushima. Don't know, but I got her. Was she in the thing that just passed just now?
I think so.
Yeah.
This is a dangerous looking lolly.
I know I got her, but I didn't really pay attention to her.
As I said, honestly, all the girls I'm concerned about are elites and up. I'm sorry, my rare girls, I love you.
I mean, some of the rares are cool, and hey, someday those rares can get upgrades, retrofits, like Portland. Portland has the illustrious bonus that she's the only purple allowed to ride my all gold team. And that's okay, she's pulling her weight. Also, by the way, now the Discord patron chat is entirely just posting ships from Ken Cole and Azur Lane. So I guess because we were having the discussion of our subgirls in Azur Lane, tiny but huge boobs or not. Some of them are, some of them are not. Some of them are just like DDs. They're super slim. Other ones like Surkoff is like full blown proportions, aka she thick.
She thick.
But some of them are slim but a little heavier endowed, like I-19 here, who is a Japanese sub. Huh? I wonder. That also makes her a cat girl. And this sub has bunny ears, and she's tanned. God damn, Japan. Wait, no, this game's made in China. God damn it, China. Playing to Japan. What are you doing here? What sorcery is this? Anyway. Oh, by the way, if we were ever slightly distracted there, that's what was going on. We were either posting images of ship girls or we're literally playing our ship girl game.
Yeah. These are small girls with big boobs. Excuse me.
Some of them are, anyway.
I am confused.
Like I said, I posted Albacore up there. She's just tiny and looks like she's having fun. Though I think the thing about Surkoff or Surkov, I don't know, she's French, is that I think that the submarine she's based on was actually referenced as being like an underwater cruise liner. Like it's supposed to be an exceptionally large submarine. So she's a bigger and fuller girl, just relaxing on the submarine.
I want the Iron Blood sub because that is some aesthetic right there.
Yeah, the Iron Blood subs are actually pretty interesting. There's a couple. A lot of subs have high rarity, which scares me a little. But hopefully some of them are event rewards.
Unlike Girls Frontline and FGO, the gacha and Azur Lane, a lot more forgiving and is not as likely to burn you.
Yep. And they also do the thing where, kind of similar to what GFL does, but obviously with much better rates and their events are much nicer. A lot of the times the real shit ships are like, those are event drops that you have to work for, but golly gee willikers, it's a lot easier to actually do that then.
Mm-hmm. So Endpoint, Azur Lane, they continue to do the good work even if they messed up a little bit. Forgive them for that.
Yeah, and honestly, we're coming up on we're moving towards their first anniversary, obviously, because they're talking about building up to it. But they've been doing this for a year, and we've had no major missteps, and in fact, the community has been very good, and they're super involved. Just today, they posted a dumb meme video on their official Twitter, which I loved, because I love that original video. So,
like, as I said, they put a lot of, there's a lot of effort going into this on, like, multiple fronts. So, like, don't, like, get your panties in a twist because, like, something didn't go exactly the way you wanted to. There's a lot of things they gotta consider.
Mm-hmm. That's our general opinion about game dev in general is, hey, listen, this shit, it takes a lot of fucking work, because honestly, we're two guys doing a lot of dirt simple stuff, and it takes a lot of work sometimes for us to pull this off. Mm-hmm. You can't imagine the complexity of, like, multi-people teams, multinational teams and communities and stuff. You know, it's...
Oh my god, I'm watching this meme video now. It's amazing.
Yes, it is. When Belfast isn't home.
Here comes the maids.
Because, I mean, from the event, you can kind of see that Belchan is a little bit of the bossiest of them. You know, ordering other maid girls around.
She is head maid. Again, they will not stop with the seriously puns.
They've got puns, they're going to use them. Which I think, hey, maybe that's why they decided to include serious after all. Because they can make the puns.
Make puns.
Alright, let's see, what's our time? Hour 15. Doing alright.
Alright, we're alright. So, let's see here. So,
I think we got, like, maybe one big topic and then a bunch of little topics we can hit. What do you want to do first?
Well, the big topic we should probably get through is the results of the Anime Awards.
Yep, it happened. Thank God we're talking about it. Now the title of this video can be Anime Awards Create Sodium! ! I know what I'm fucking doing.
So, overall,
yeah. So how do you want to play this?
Let's just go down the list real quick, and we'll just be like, yeah, cool, no, all right, awesome, yeah, sweet. So,
well, actually, so before we get into this, I think we should clarify some things. Mm-hmm. So I did my double check on this. Well, they do have a panel of judges. They also allowed a community vote, so I'm not sure how much of this is popular vote or not. It may have just been the panel of judges, who, by the way, I recognize like 2 people on this list of like several dozen. That they just picked the nominees, and then the public voted 100% or what? I'm not entirely sure what the actual voting process on this is. So there's a certain amount of popularity contest in this. Once again, nobody get your panties in a twist, other than me, because I'm gonna get. There's one vote on this that I'm actually kind of salty about, especially if this was popular. But at the same time, I can totally see why it went the other way.
All right, so
well, also we should also say, because you mentioned this earlier, they did have an actual awards show.
Yeah.
But we didn't watch it just because they tweeted all the winners, and like I said, there were a couple of people I recognize on it, but I don't follow them close enough to be like, I'm gonna go watch Crunchyroll's award show watch them make anime jokes for an hour and a half to watch. Like, no, I don't do that.
I can't do that.
I think
shit like, to do with my life. The only thing I could do, like, I think like E3 is the only thing I can sit down and get through the slog.
And like, we do that as a big community thing, and we're like taking pot shots at the presenters, you know, when they're not on point and stuff. It's just like,
Yeah, but award shows, I'm like, no, you're just gonna give me like this stuff. But like seeing like new trailers first and live, it's like, yeah, it's good. Fucking apparently at the Anime Awards there was live like premiere trailers too. But I was like, at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. maybe when it gets better next year, because it's always work to improve. So I'm just gonna go with the list you gave me. So best opening, Darling in the Franxx. Like
specifically for shoot, I completely forget the name now. What's it?
Kiss of Death.
That's it. Kiss of Death. I think we talked about this when we had our whole episode, which is about the nominees. Hey, go ahead and go back and watch that again for our opinions.
Remember the nominees.
Where I don't know. I think like this was in competition with like the Kakegururi opening.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like,
that definitely was it.
I feel like as an animation and maybe as a song, there were some betters. But hey, Darling was a big deal last year, so it won an award, and that's cool. Even if I don't think we were necessarily 100% sold on the idea that it was like the best opening animation. But
Let me see if I can pull up the nominees here real quick. No, not 2016. Fuck. All right, here we go. No. Okay, here it is. Okay, I pulled it up. So, best opening was Kakegururi, JoJo, Darling in the Franxx, Pop Team Epic, Love is Hard for Otaku, and Agretsuko. So, like, honestly, like, I think the only one that probably would have topped that is probably Kakegururi. That's because Supercell did the fucking opening. And
yeah, the music was good, and the actual opening animation was amazing.
Oh, God.
Gesundheit.
Excuse me. Thank you. So, that snuck up on me. I said, we're not gonna try and, like, dwell on these too long, but, so we'll go straight into best ending sequence, which was Attack on Titan, and it was, Katsuki no Requiem by Linked Horizon, which was the ending theme to Attack on Titan Season 3. The nominees were, though, Megalobox, which I think should have won because, goddamn, those jams.
Hey, spoiler alert: Megalobox didn't win any awards. We might be a little salty about that. A little bit sodium.
Yeah, a little bit sodium. But also, which didn't win the best ending was Refrain by Aimer. Excuse me. Do you know who Aimer is? Her voice is amazing. But there was also Stars Overhead and Spiky Siege, which were done by The Pillows for Fooly Cooly, Alternative, and Progressive, respectively. Also, Fly Me to the Star by Starlight Kukugurumi, which was for Revenue Starlight, which I hear is really good. Camper, like, has been like 100% down on the show. I should really watch it. But so I'm like, I don't know. I actually haven't heard I should give like the ending because I don't watch Attack on Titan. I'm sorry, it kind of lost me after a bit. I was like,
you did better than me. You tried. I never got into it because everybody at the time when it came out, everybody was talking about Attack on Titan. He's like, oh my god, you've got to watch this. This is so metal. Everybody's dying. It's so dark and cool and blood and stuff. I'm like, no, fuck you. Like that's not how you reach me as a consumer. I'm like. No, I've lived that life where like everybody's all about the how cool and dark and stuff shit is. Anime is my free time, man. No, like if a series has something else to offer, but that's like nobody tried to pitch that series to me when it first came out as anything other than just, oh man, the opening's so striking, and also there's all this stuff with all these characters, and I guess a little bit that Mikasa has abs, but other than that, it's just. Oh man, who's gonna get horribly murdered next randomly? I'm like, no. Once again, just no. Fuck you. That's not how you sell me on a series.
So actually, Best Boy has. I'm not gonna lie, has my panties in a bit of a twist.
Okay, so here, go ahead and do it. Just say who it is.
So Deku from Boku no Hero Academia won. All right, so at first glance you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But then you look at who our nominees are.
Also, before we even get into that, here's another problem. I'm 99% sure that Deku won last year too.
Yeah.
So there's problem number one. He already won that award. Thank you very much. Now, on the one hand, I can understand especially if they're doing this more on a popular vote level, like the idea that, well, if he's still the best boy, he should win the award. On the other hand, you're trying to make this a thing, obviously, anime awards. You're, like, getting directors from Japan to send you fucking videos, like, thanking people for showing up and for getting awards and stuff. Like, you're reaching out to the industry to try and tie this all in. You should also understand from a certain amount of, like, industry achievement, you need to let other people be able to win. So if Deku shows up on the options list again this year, because hey, guess what? There's another fucking season of MHA coming out this year.
I don't know.
I'm gonna love it.
Like honestly, no. Like I know what's about to happen. He might earn it because he's about to do some fucking shit.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be really good. That's the problem. But at the same time, it's like if you gotta let other people win the award. If Deku's gonna win it every year, at some point, as the anime awards, you have to be satisfied with the fact that yes, Deku is a two-time Best Boy award winner from the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. Does he need 3? Does that actually change anything, or might it be cool to actually offer this recognition to other characters in other series? Because he won twice already. We fucking know he's Best Boy. He's great.
So my main issue is like I don't think like Deku is Best Boy against this other lineup because in the nominees we have fucking Joe from Megalobach. We have Haida from Agretsuko. Which, again, once I actually watch it, I understand now why he's fucking Best Boy in this nomination.
Yeah, Haida's great.
Yeah, Haida's fucking great. We have Kotaro Tatsumi from Zombieland Saga, who was a great character over fucking all. Just fucking hilarious. But here's the two that, like, I personally think that the battle should have been. It should have been Honda-san from Skull-Face Bookseller Honda-san, which is super great, super funny, and super relatable. Like, you watch this character and you're like, I feel you, dude. Like, I feel you. And fucking Sakuta Asugawa from Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, which was literally the sleeper hit of the fucking winter. Like,
especially considering to completely ruin it, but you already know these. The next award result.
Yeah. So yeah. My opinion is a little bit of a twist of that because then we go down to Best Girl here, and Mai Sakurajima won from Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Now, to be fair, they actually have a really good lineup for the nominees. Just to go over it real quick, they have like the Gesto Kamigarihara from Laid Back Camp, which, like, really good. She's a really good girl. You just want to give her fucking head pats all day. You have a stripper from Golden Kamui, Hinata Miyake from A Place Further Than the Universe, Anzu from Hinamatsuri, and Lily Hoshikawa from Zombieland Saga. Like, honestly, like, those could have gone, like, almost any way, and I would have been alright with it. As I said, like, personally, I wanted, like, I think I mentioned this, I wanted Hinata Miyake to win, because, I fucking love A Place Further Than the Universe. But, you know...
Here's another spoiler. A Place Further Than the Universe didn't win anything.
Yeah, I am super, kind of salty about that.
Hey, listen, it's an honor to just be nominated.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we're still a little upset about some stuff.
We're still a little upset about some stuff. But, you know, it's just like, because that's the thing that really made a lot of Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai was the interactions between these two characters. And seeing the relationship fold and whatnot and stuff. It was good. Let's see here. What's next on our list? Best Japanese VA. Well, it's Mamoru Miyano, who did the voice of Kotaro Tatsumi from Zombieland Saga. And, let's see. It's a good sign, because they also had Rariko as Retsuko and Agretsuko. You had Megumi Han as Miki Makarura from Devilman Crybaby. Rina Ueda as Akane Shinjo from SSSS Gridman. Soma Saito as Honda-san from Skull-Face Bookseller Honda-san. And Nao Toyama as Renshima from Laid Back Camp. Like, honestly, all these were good performances. And I didn't like I think I said I probably wanted Honda-san to win. Because, again, he's super relatable and he loves him. But, again, Kotaro Tatsumi, he fucking kills it. He fucking kills it. Like, you see his shit and how he just, like, switches personalities and interactions. It's good. Like, I haven't finished Zombieland Saga because I hear his shit gets real later. And, Lucky can't do real right now because there's a lot of emotional shit going on in anime right now. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna laugh. It's gonna be great. So, we're gonna switch straight on to voice actor performance in English. Where Chris Sabat as All Might in My Hero Academia 3, season 3. Real talk, I don't watch anime in English. I very, very rarely do. But from what I've been hearing from people, everyone was all like, no, Chris Sabat is All Might now to me.
Yeah, I know. Like, here's the thing. I love MHA too much and don't have extra money to go out of my way to get Funimation to, like, listen to it when they get around to it. But I have heard some clips. He brings a great performance to that voice and embodies him in a really good way, bringing the level of All Might to the English.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, once again, you'll notice a theme. Crunchyroll loves or the people that Crunchyroll, because I think a lot of the people who work there they're not on the judge list. It's mostly like friends and associates and possibly people they've paid money to in the past. So you're but they really fucking love MHA over there, which
they really do.
That's okay. We love it too, but we have broad tastes, all right? And some people in this, at times, I feel like some people going in this don't have any taste at all. But whatever.
Let's see.
There's a lot of MHA on this list. There was there's less than there was last year, which is good. I don't know how exactly they swung that. Like we said, I don't know how the voting works, but it's good that not as bad as it was. Like there were no female MHA characters, I think, on the best girl list.
Yeah, no.
Which, by the way, last year Ochiko won.
So, as I said, we'll try to keep going. Best fight, which was presented by Capcom, was again All for One versus All Might.
What are our options in this zone? Because I think I have to really hear what we're comparing this to.
All right, so it's Jiren versus Goku from Dragon Ball Super, Hina versus Anzu and Hina Matsuri, Satan versus Devilman Crybaby, Yami versus Licht and Black Clover, and Sakura and Sasuke versus Momoshiki and Boruto. So I'm gonna tell you right now, Jiren versus Goku, Hina versus Anzu, and Yami versus Licht can kind of be, in my opinion, be tossed out.
Yeah, no, because like and so even one of our patrons is even pointing out the Jiren versus Goku is a very broad zone of that anime, which is part of the problem people have with Super and its ending. That's a very vague zone as compared to what they're saying when they say, for instance, All Might versus
All for One.
All for One, United States of Smash. Like, no, that's a singular moment. That's like one episode really, which is all that. No, that's a fight scene.
Yeah. So Hina and Anzu I also toss out because while technically it's a fight, it's more hilarious than anything else. Like,
yeah, because it's literally a comedy series.
Yeah, it's literally a scene where they play a game of like rock paper scissors, and then they try to use their psychic powers to make their turn. It's really fucking funny, but at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna play. And so Yami versus Licht, it's good animation wise, but as I said, it's Black Clover. Black Clover is kind of up and down on a lot of things. Like I like Black Clover, I watch it weekly.
Well, I have heard that Boruto is also up and down.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though,
but, I have seen.
If you've seen that animation, you know that it was fucking phenomenal.
It was fucking phenomenal. At the same time, I'm just like, But here's the thing: like All Might versus All for One is real good. I don't know if it's better than fucking Satan versus Devilman, though.
Yeah, no. Like, I mean, let's listen. Once again, just spoil some future stuff because this is all out already. Like now, Devilman wins some victories later, which is good. So I'm not cut up, but no, like that. That's a really good sequence. This is like super dramatically impactful. That said, as a fight though, it is a little. It is it's a good sequence.
All the information in All for One versus All Might is literally in those last 2 minutes.
Yeah,
like when basically United States of Smashing, where he says like my back wasn't into it, like that entire 2 minutes, like those. Because I like to go back and rewatch My Hero Academia scenes just because they're that fucking
They're
great.
amazing.
But
yeah.
They're amazing.
Hey, guess what? Because they don't like constantly try and make that show, they have a budget and they can apply it smartly. So every once in a while they have really fucking good animation because they save all their high-level action animation budget for when it actually matters. There's a couple of scenes I watch regularly. Deku vs. Shoto. That's a fucking phenomenal scene that is perfectly scripted. The whole sequence of All for One and All Might is another really good one. Deku versus Muscular is another really good one.
Oh yeah. And
All Might versus the Nomu, where the fight scene gets so crazy you can no longer tell which way is up. But yeah, that said, you are right that the most dramatic tension of that moment is packed into the end.
Mm-hmm. While Devilman versus Satan, it's literally like the whole fucking episode.
Yeah, it's a drawn-out conflict, though it, like I said, it is also still a little weird to call it a fight, because it's mostly just Satan blasting off Devilman's arms and legs, and he gets them back.
Yeah, but it's also the moments like, here, use me! Like, all the other Devilmans are like,
Devilman's
and
amazing.
And he keeps going, and you're like, oh! And then and I think this is, like, the thing that, like, really sells me on it, is that Devilman still loses. And, like, fucking Rio was like, oh my god, I just wanted you because I love you. And you're like, no! And then the Earth is exploded.
And then God pushes the button.
Vesper has said
no, Vesper, that is the best idea.
He also said he tried to get into Clover, but Astra Scream was too much. I will say it gets better later on. They definitely tone it down. And
honestly, I think there's a lot of series where stuff gets toned down. Like if you try to watch early Naruto, God, Naruto is such a prick. Like the way they emphasize his mannerisms and dialogue, both in English and in Japanese, are just really fucking annoying. It's almost like he's an asshole trying to act out.
But no, the Devilman Crybaby, the only way to watch it is all of it in a single night, because
you want to watch as much of it as possible, as close together as possible. Because of that reason you're saying, because it will kick your ass and you're gonna lie on the floor. Which, by the way, that reminds me, I didn't say this on air, but when we were talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 earlier, that's what I said to Lucky. I posted Face My Fears, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna listen to this on loop and lie on the ground. There is some stuff after which you've experienced, you just have an instinctive desire to be like, I want to be as low to the ground as I can be right now. I want my physical position to reflect how I feel. I feel down right now. I'm gonna get low and I'm gonna hug the ground.
So, like, I can't be like completely upset with the pick for best fight scene. It's not my personal pick, but I can fucking stand it.
No, we can totally follow why that won, because, like you said, only I think 3 of those were quote unquote fight scenes or best fights that happened, and honestly, all 3 of those would have been good picks. I think, especially considering that Super did manage to win an award, I think it's very telling that Boruto did not win this, despite the fact that sequence was lauded as like a miracle of animation.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm a little annoyed. I don't know why, but there's never any fucking Fate on these lists.
What Fate did it? Only Last Encore came.
Yeah, I think technically, but still last year. I don't even know. I guess because only this year they presented it with Capcom, but still, like, was Controversies Sieg on there at any point in the previous awards? I don't think so. Food for thought.
Was Apocrypha even on any awards?
I don't think so. That's another shame. Like, I don't think Last Encore got nominated for anything when it came out. I don't know. Like I said,
Apocrypha.
We'll see.
That's
on the other hand, I'm not shocked and I'm not miffed that at the very least in terms of winners, P5 didn't win anything, P5A. But also, like, if it didn't get nominated for anything, that's not going to hurt me. It was a very good anime adaptation, but was it
not great?
Was it a wow? Was it like, I have to experience this anime version? No.
Like, I have the game. I'm good.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. It was just like, we already poured 100 hours into this. It's a good adaptation, but it's not. You're not gonna bring me back as a customer.
I was like, you can't boil down my 100 hours gameplay into like 12 hours of anime. It's gonna get lost.
Yeah.
But moving on, we're gonna move on to Best Protagonist, which remember Tempest from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Let me see here. Let me pull out the nominations. I gotta scroll. Here we go. So, the competition was Retsuko from Agretsuko, Yumeke Jabami from Kakaguri, Joe from Megalobox, Violet Evergarden from Violet Evergarden, and Sakata Asagawa, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
So, this was one of those categories that was just full of winners. Like, if any one of these won, you can sit back and go, no, it makes sense, that works.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All of them are really good. Like, and I'm not, maybe it's because Slime was like the new hotness, it was fresh in everybody's minds.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, no, as a protagonist, Rimuru is a great character.
He's funny. Like, some people like get pissed off because apparently how perfect he is and all that stuff, and everyone's just like, no, he still has his fair share of troubles. He didn't want to do any of this ruling shit.
Yeah, no, like, he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to, not that I'm caught up on, hopefully the other thing I could do now that I'm not snorting Kingdom Hearts directly into my brain is I can actually watch anime again. And I can get caught up on Slime. But No, like, sure, he's super powerful, but nothing ever really happens the way he wants it to or plans it to.
He just has to keep adapting and rolling with it.
Like,
and
just because he can keep bullshitting his way out of situations doesn't mean that he doesn't keep ending up in the shit. And just be like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I here? I was just chilling as a slime dude.
That's all he wants to do is chill as a slime dude.
You know, maybe find some fucking elf titties. That's all I want out of my reincarnated life. Elf. But like, Agretsuko is a greatly written character. Like, oh my god, Agretsuko's so good. That's such a good series.
Regarding, I cry.
Yeah, Violet's. Ooh, that's an amazing series, and her personal journey through that is like that's a heart quaker. Like, those episodes are all real rough, but just her character arc is also like,
like you make a Jabami. You like her because she's fucking batshit crazy. And
no, yeah, she's great as almost a subversive protagonist because she's fucking insane. She's literally crazy, and it's just like she is a literal gambling addict, and will do anything to get that high of an actual honest to god gamble. And she's
just watching that journey, it's like I haven't they're airing season 2 right now. I haven't watched it because I actually just might wait till it gets on Netflix. I have turned down my hate
on Netflix just because that's easier to just. Hey, guess what? I have a lot of fucking mobile games to play. I mean, like, I'll still watch it subbed, but I can in between scenes, I can tab over and stuff, and I can chillax and do other things and just throw it on Netflix on my machine and play through.
Yeah. As I said, I have toned down my hate of Netflix as I'm starting to watch a little bit more here and there. Joe was also another great one that, if he had won, I've been like, nah, that's cool, that's great.
Yeah,
perfect.
I mean, I can see why Joe might not win because he's kind of a blank face character. Like, he's solely defined by his being the underdog who wants to succeed. But at the same time, goddamn, you love that kid.
It's like,
he's out there busting his ass, getting his ass literally kicked, but he's still trying. And he's sassy, and we like that. Especially in America, we like that. But I assume based on how many characters are written that way, the Japanese also like him sassy.
So, keeping it going. Best antagonist. All for one. Again, I feel this is particularly My Hero Academia dick sucking because they also had Yuri from Megalobox, Ryo Asuka from Devilman Crybaby, Momonga from Overlord 3, Tokashiro Tsurumi from Golden Kamui, and Akane Shinjo from SSS Gridman. See,
yeah, this is I guess the question is, what do you want out of an antagonist? Because honestly, if you think about it, All for One doesn't do much. He's not really. He's not he's kind of a meta presence because he's sitting behind a TV screen speaking ominously. His power set is really cool, and they do really cool stuff for him in those 3 episodes he shows up in, and he is power level wise, he's certainly an intimidating antagonist because he kicks the shit out of 5 pro heroes in as many minutes, or rather as many seconds. And he has a halfway decent plan to try and shenanigans All Might. But then All Might punches his lights out, and they throw him in prison, and all he can do is I'm super deep voiced, and her.
You see, when I think of an antagonist, I think of someone who acts opposite the protagonist. I don't think All for One does that particularly. Believe it or not, I think Bakugo is a better antagonist to fucking Deku.
And he is an antagonist. And honestly, they play with that quote-unquote antagonist thing a little bit by putting Ro on there, because that's actually something you don't realize right away, right? If you're watching the show blind, you don't, you get a little suspicion that he's off, but you don't realize that he is the full-blown antagonist. He is the actual adversary, possibly, ultimately the capital A adversary, because he's literally Satan. But you don't realize that something is really fucking wrong until halfway through that series, and then you're like, wait a minute, bro, why are you doing me like this? And then you're like, oh shit, he's literally Satan.
An antagonist is someone who acts against the protagonist in some form or way. All for One.
Yeah. So by the way, the dictionary definition of an antagonist is someone who acts with hostility to another person, an adversary. So, I mean, you can say kind of he's doing that when he's sitting in his chair, but also I don't think so. He's not doing anything when he's in his wheelchair. He's just doing the classic villain of just, I'm gonna pet my cat and tell you that everything is going according to my vaguely defined to you, the audience, plan.
The fucking kid, Shimura?
Yeah.
Kid with hands? That's an antagonist. I have plans. I'm gonna get in your face. I'm gonna do shit.
He does stuff, and he's creepy.
Mm-hmm. He goes through his own growth and character development, you know. Because here's the thing: All for One shows up. All for One is already developed as he's gonna get.
Yeah, All for One's not going anywhere. He is a complete character.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's derived from the Greek, which means opponent, competitor, enemy, rival. From the word against and then to contend for the prize. So I guess you could clearly say that, especially in those episodes, he's All Might's antagonist, but All Might's not the protagonist of this story, right? Like, the fact that he is the mentor character trying to leave the protagonist role is a major plot point. So yeah, I don't know, like, especially considering that All Might wasn't in the best protagonist category, right? Like, it feels a little dirty pool to put technically his antagonist, his personal antagonist, as the quote-unquote best antagonist in the series.
Yeah, so like looking at these other characters, like Yuri, literally the direct opposite of Joe, like the goal.
The show is built on their rivalry.
Yeah, good one. Momonga, kind of a weird pick because he is simultaneously the bad guy and the protagonist.
Honestly, I think that's a flaw of traditional story writing, because you have to categorize people as antagonists or protagonists. So the quote-unquote villain protagonist, where you're a classical bad guy character, but you're the center of the story, is hard to address that way. I think throwing him in the antagonist pool is an interesting way of handling it. Like, because the idea is, how else are you going to do it?
Because then who is the protagonist? Because you're like,
Well, hold on. Let me Google the root definition of a protagonist.
Yes.
The one who plays the first part, the chief actor.
That's fucking Momonga.
Yeah, so that's no.
I mean, Overlord's kind of an ensemble cast because they definitely spread out the perspective among main characters, but it always goes back to Momonga.
Well, and again, the actual classical definition from Greek literally means the one who plays the first part. So, like, he's the one who appears first and center.
Tokashiro Tsurumi, the fucking LT, he's fucking hilarious. He's great, he's crazy, and at the same time, fucking mad genius. He's a great antagonist because he completely fits in the mood that Golden Kamui has. But, the fact that he didn't win, doesn't, utterly surprise me. I'm kind of like, if he won,
like I said, some of these, I think, have some popularity in them, and, that's, I think, why, Megalobox didn't win a lot of awards, because while it was really good, and some people did appreciate it, I feel like it was really underplayed, especially over here.
Megalobox is called out to fucking 80s fucking anime.
And also it's a modernization of a even more older and even more similar to Devilman. It's a reimagining of a very classic anime, but I feel like it didn't wiggle its way into our collective unconsciousness the way Devilman did.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame, because it was really fucking good.
Yeah, and Akane Shinjo I think was a great antagonist, because, once you watch all of fucking Gridman, your mind is fucking blown. You don't know what is true anymore. And Akane Shinjo's at the center of it as you try to figure this poor girl out and what she got's going on, and why is she, doing the things she do. Because, to me, remember, the best villains are the one that you have to try to relate to, that you have empathy for.
Well, yeah, I think there's, when you try to perfect a villain, there's two types. There's guys like the Joker, or the guys that you love to hate, that basically, because you cannot possibly understand this character, they're free to do whatever, and they're way more dynamic in the story that way, right? Because antagonist opposes the protagonist. So as a rival, somebody who's literally inexplicable can be really interesting, because it's, it lets you do interesting things with the story. The other is, oh no, you have to completely understand this guy and why he's doing this, and that kind of adds this layer of dramatic tension to it, because you realize to yourself, oh, if things were different, these roles could be switched, right? It makes you think a lot of things, and it makes for much more impactful storytelling.
Yeah. So again, I'm gonna say All for One. That's My Hero Academia dick sucking.
Yeah, that's a weak pick, but which probably won because his voice actor's super famous and he's really cool and he's really scary and he has kind of a weird thing going on. And like I said, his as a plot point, his power set is super interesting, and they actually did really cool things with it. But like I said, as a quote unquote antagonist, I think he's just not in the story. He's not active enough in the story anymore.
Nope. But we're gonna move on to best animation, which Violet Evergarden won. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. No contest.
No contest. To let everyone know, the other nominees were My Hero Academia Season 3, Devilman Crybaby, Bloom Into You, Megalobox, A Place Further Than the Universe, and of course, Violet Evergarden.
So, Devilman had some really good, like, it did the thing that actually we talked about Apocrypha did in that fight scene where they went crazy with, like, in-betweener, frames and, like, really smooth animation and trippy stuff. But, and like we said, MHA does, when they feel like it, they will give those dramatic moments the weight they need.
Oh yeah,
Violet Evergarden was a piece of art in emotion. Like, everything was beautiful, from the ambience to, like, just backgrounds and lighting. The character designs were all super pretty. The fucking reflection on Violet's eyes in literally every scene, right? Like, the amount of detail and shine on her arms, the costume design, then the actual fucking animation from just simple movements to fight scenes, every step of the way, that show was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, like, me personally, I was rooting for A Place Further Than, like, other than Violet Evergarden, I was rooting for A Place Further Than the Universe because I love that show. I really do. Like, I am super, super upset that it didn't win anything. Ugh.
Oh, and we mentioned Megalobox. We talked about on Anime Power Hour, which is defunct because it was kind of a pain in the ass, but you can still listen to the old episodes because we have nothing to hide. We talked several times about how great the boxing motion in Megalobox was. Like, that was such a dynamic, breathing thing. Unfortunately, I don't really have anything to say about all the non-boxing animation, except maybe that, like, okay, they had some cool, like, post-apocalyptic stuff in the backdrop designs, but, like, yeah, no, like I said, like, every single bullet point of Violet Evergarden was pretty. It was art. By the way, I think there's one thing I want to point out here, because you just mentioned that A Place Further Than the Universe has not been winning. Would you say that, would you categorize A Place Further Than the Universe as a slice of life in a certain sense?
Kind of, yeah.
So I would like to point out that if you're looking through this, have any really truly slice of life shows been winning anything?
No.
See, I wonder if that's a weakness in the awards.
It's the slice of life, but it's also an adventure. Because, like, the story is basically it's these 4 girls in high school decide almost on a whim to go to Antarctica. And it's basically their journey of them going to Antarctica. But, nothing really crazy happens. Like, they travel, they get to Antarctica, they have hijinks, they learn about each other, it's dramatic. So it's like slice of life, adventure, and drama. Like, all mixed up into this into this cute girls doing cute things package.
Yeah, but what I'm kind of getting at is I think, especially to maybe people on the outside, it seemed like a pure slice of life show that maybe had, like, a deeper meaning that, like...
Oh, yeah.
So I'm wondering whether that's on the popular end or on the judges' end, if maybe slice of life as a genre doesn't penetrate well into the awards. Like, because that's something you can say about Violet Evergarden. It had life stuff going on, but it also had some action scenes in it, which were also beautiful, right? Like, it had a wide variety of scenes and sequences, which were all animated beautifully. Devilman is similar. There was, like, I'm doing my own shit in high school time, and I'm doing my sweet-ass, sick-ass Devilman runs on track, because track's a metaphor. But also it had, crazy cool animation, and it had boobs in it and stuff.
Yeah. Like, I keep telling, like, Maggie, like, at some point I want you to sit down and watch A Place Further in the Universe when you want to chill for a bit. It's never anything, like, high pace or intense, but it's something that it's still a meaningful journey in its own way. Bloom Into You, like, I haven't watched, but just looking at the animation company, Troika, yeah, I can follow it. Cause, Troika, as we have mentioned, they've done animation for Alt Node Zero, Recreators, and they did the Case Files, episode 0. So, yeah, they got some power when it comes to animation. They also did some other ones that, like Beautiful Bones, Idlish 7, and let's see here. Oh yeah, no, they're a recent company. They've only been operating since 2015. So, seeing Bloom Into You, which I believe is a movie, I think it's a movie. Is it a movie? Oh no, it was an actual series. But I've heard good things about that, so I can believe it. But yeah, no, there's no fighting Violet Evergarden for that. It wins. So moving on, best character design. Winner, JoJo Golden Wind. Have you seen these boys?
I've seen JoJo character designs. Yes.
Yeah. Let me see. What were the nominees on best character design? I gotta dig this up. Doop.
Yeah. But I feel like JoJo has almost like an infamous character design to it. Like it's got a very particular style that people know of, even if you don't actually watch JoJo.
Like if you watch JoJo, like ever since like the fucking beginning, people have been fucking fabulous, and we're gonna make some fucking poses.
In case you're wondering, yes, this is a JoJo's reference.
Like I said, JoJo is definitely has its own meme culture. Like it's a thing. So on one hand, I can't fucking like say no, this was a bad choice because let's be real, those designs are fucking crazy, along with the animation and everything else. But they also had Violet Evergarden on this list, Megalobox, Agretzko, Devilman, and Zombieland Saga. Agretzko was an interesting choice because these are fucking Sanrio characters, you know, fucking Hello Kitty.
Yeah, though some of them I think got a little bit of like redesigns for the anime.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hey, if you're talking about character design, I mean, like JoJo, well, actually, that's a good question. Are the characters in the JoJo series they're referencing all new? Or, like, have some of them appeared in earlier works, too? Because
I think they're all new because Golden Wind is an arc.
Wait, no, never mind. It's still a manga adaptation, so
yeah, the
character designs have been around for a while. So yeah. I think Agretsuko's fair game if you're talking about a character design. The show came out in the time period, and the character designs are really good because it's Sanrio characters. They are marketable as fuck.
Like, here's the thing, like this is one of those things about like character design. It's like what is original, what is not, because like say Violet Evergarden was based off a light novel.
True. And also, it's weird because, like, even if you have an original anime, you may still have... You will hire another company or other illustrators to do your character designs, which you then adapt to your animation format. Like, Code Geass was famous for that the main character designs were by Clamp. And there have been other series like that where you get other technically unrelated famous people and pay them money to do your character designs, which turn out a particular way.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know, like, best character design, it's, like, something I'm kind of floaty on right now.
This is similar to the protagonist. I think, like, when you listed that out, I was like, no, like, all of those have really good character design. They're just so different. Everything in that category, I think, is really different, which makes this a hard one to pick for.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Best continuing series.
So, wait, before you give this one, say all the nominees.
Okay. So, all the nominees... I have to scroll down here, was Ancient Magus Bride, Dragon Ball Super, Black Clover, March Comes In Like a Lion, One Piece, Boruto, Naruto Next Generations.
So who out of those illustrious contenders won?
Dragon Ball Super.
Yes, Internet, I'm mad. First off, once again, One Piece and Boruto didn't win. Cool. Super won? First of all...
Like, honestly,
wasn't Super mostly over by last year anyway?
Yeah.
And two,
I don't know actually their fucking criteria for best continuing series.
I believe the idea is that it had episodes that released in that year because so the whole of Ancient Magus Bride was split between two seasons, which were technically 2 different years. They were different production cores and they actually extended over the calendar year, so they were able to, because it continued into this year, they were able to put it on the list. I don't know where Super fit into the list of years. I know that One Piece and Boruto are actually ongoing.
Yeah.
But, no, seriously, fucking Super won? Like, really?
Excuse me.
People are very contentious about that series.
Yeah.
Like, I know for a fact, because people actually like it, and they talk about it, that the Broly movie, the Super Broly movie, is going to win those awards next year. But...
Oh, yeah.
That's actually, people actually like that.
So, yeah.
But people as a whole did not like Super. It was very, like I said, contentious. There were arcs that were really good, and there were arcs that were not good. And the arcs that some people are kind of contentious about not being good was the final one. Where, yes, there were some good conclusions, but there were lots of people like, man, it kind of dragged out and was really long. And so, like, with Ancient Magus Bride on there, I'm a little mad because that show was great. And
I'm a little mad because Ancient Magus Bride, Black Clover, and March Comes Like a Lion was on this list.
yeah, no, like you follow those series, and I can totally accept that you say that you like them, that those are okay. But like, so you put the current big three of shonen in there, and they still one of them still fucking won. What is this? Those are people are upset that those shows are running so long.
Yeah. Well, like as I'm trying to say, Black Clover. Originally it was only slated to run like 26 episodes. Then it got bumped up to 52, and then it got bumped up again. It is like, yeah, people talk shit about it, but it's been popular and good enough that they keep deciding to extend its run.
That it's been enough that clearly it's making its money and it's going to keep going, as opposed to. Well, I mean, I guess One Piece and Boruto and Super must have made money for the production company to still be invested, but I feel like it was very much a like, well, we're just adapting the stuff, so we're going to keep trucking, right?
Yeah, March Comes in Like in Line was an emotional journey of growth and character and amazing animation. Like, it's done by Shaft, who is, like, infamous. I would say infamous because Shaft animation styles does not groove with everybody.
Yeah, not everybody likes it.
Yeah, not everybody likes it. But it is still a unique and wonderful experience that, like, went on for a long time. Like, I can't wait till they do their next series.
And once again, on Power Hour, we talked at length about how much we love Ancient Magus Bride.
Yeah,
It's a really well put together series, and it is really interesting, and it actually has, like, the way they set it up, they actually set up the different seasons, and it has, like, different arcs and stuff, right? And it as a continuing series, it flowed really well, even if I liked the first opening better.
Yeah. So, again, like, I'm pretty sure this is fucking popular vote. Yeah,
shake my head. And even if it is purely popular, I'm still shocked that somehow Super managed to pull it out. I don't know. I feel, once again, there is an art to nominating things. I feel like you should almost not, because while Ancient Magus Bride was multiple seasons over multiple years, it was still only 2 cores. It was only like 24 episodes. So it's
like March Comes in Like a Lion was like 50-something. Black Clover's up to like 60-something right now.
Yeah.
One Piece, Boruto,
One Piece is a million episodes. It's like 800 and something or whatever, 900, 1,000.
Boruto's like in the hundreds. Super is in like the 70s.
So I feel like, dear Crunchyroll, you're totally listening to this. In future, don't do that. Break up that category then. Like, figure out a way to phrase it, and I understand you probably have to like get rights to clips and stuff to show, because sometimes you're showing anime that you guys don't license, like Devilman. And whatever, but seriously, no, you're gonna have a much cleaner award show if you can split a series that run fucking forever from series that just happen to have multiple seasons, multiple cores, which extended over multiple years. Which is even in production terms, those are run entirely different. Like, Boruto and One Piece are shows that are running week to week to week constantly. They don't take production breaks, which is kind of why people think they're shitty sometimes. Because One Piece is really slow, like right now, because of its production schedule. Whatever. We're not going to spend forever talking about how salty we are. Yeah. We let you know.
So we're gonna go straight on to Best Director. Best Director. So I'm gonna here's the nominees. We have Atsuko Ishizuka from A Place Further Than the Universe, Taichi Ishidate for Violent Evergarden, Yohei Suzuki for Planet With, Masaki Yuasa for Devilman Crybaby, Yo Moriyama for Megalobox, and Hiroko Utsumi for Banana Fish.
So this is another like all-star cast.
Yeah, it is. Like, all of these are fucking amazing. Like, I have watched a majority of these. I have not finished Banana Fish because, again, that is a very, very sad show. Oh my god.
Yeah, but, like, all these shit, like that's also why I didn't like jump back into it right away either, because it's like, god, it's a rough watch.
It's a rough watch, but it's still good.
Well, it's very well made.
Mm-hmm. And you thank your director for that, but fucking Masaki Yuasa won with Devilman Crybaby. Because
yeah, I think it's deserved. Because to my understanding, the whole of how Crybaby came out was kind of his baby. Like, this was very much, he wanted to adapt this old show, this old manga, in kind of the weird style that it came out. So the style in that series is just phenomenal. So much style, so much specific, like, way it comes out style too. Just hot damn.
So, like, yeah, they basically took an old 80s manga that's gone through numerous interpretations.
I think actually it's from the 70s even. Like, it's been around a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And basically stayed true to the source material, adapted it to a modern audience, basically said, all right, we're going to get real with the blood, sex, and fucking violence here.
Yeah, they stayed truer to the manga than the original anime adaptation did, which was a little more desensitized, while still making its own and introducing new characters and themes.
Yeah. It's like, it took something and made it more, like, I want to know, it said made it more than the sum of its parts.
Mm-hmm.
And the experience is like a night, after a night, you're on the floor like, I just hate everyone right now, and I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's so much style and so much. There is a real direction. Like there is an artist behind this driving this, and it's really good that he won.
Like honestly, like any of these won, I've been like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, Planet With was real good, especially once. Like, Planet With was one of those ones that you think is just going to be like this little kiddie show and stuff, and then you start watching and you're like, oh no, this is real serious, actually. There are themes, there are layers. Like, same with a place further in the universe. Oh, it's just cute girls doing cute things. No, this is a journey. This is a fucking journey of the heart and mind, and you're going to come out of this maybe a bit of a better person. Violet Evergarden, oh my god. Like, all of these are good. 10 out of 10, everyone's a winner.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where we can truly say it was an honor just to be nominated. Like, you guys get to place your names, now that some of these Japanese people who won the awards, like, sent videos and congratulations, and, like, they accepted them and stuff, so there's a little bit of involvement, so I guess they care a little bit, but, no, to have your name put in this category is, like, a winner. You should not feel bad about yourself for being put up as a contender with some of these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's move on to movie.
Best film. Nominations were Fireworks by Shaft. The actual name is a lot longer, but we're just going to say it's fucking Fireworks. Liz and the Blue Bird by Kyoto Animation. My Hero Academia 2 Hero by Bones. Mazinger Z Infinity by Toei Animation. Mirai by Studio Chizu. And Night is Short, Walk on Girl by Science Saru. So, and what is also surprising and not surprising, fucking My Hero Academia 2.
Especially if the popular vote came into this, I think this just has to do with popularity, because we didn't see any of these fucking movies. I hadn't even heard of most of them.
Like, two of them I want to watch. I want to watch Fireworks and Mirai, alright? Because I believe, if I remember, Mirai, the director behind Mirai was also the one who did Wolf Children, which is a fucking phenomenal film.
Yeah.
And I heard that Fireworks is kind of hit or miss. But I want to see them. I also do want to see the My Hero Academia movie, but here's the thing. I always have issues with shonen movie adaptation.
Well, and even one of our patrons is just saying it felt a bit like an extended episode. On the other hand, the episodes of MHA are really good. So, like, if you can, with an original story, because there was an original story episode in this new season that was, like, super clunky. It's not their fault. That was a network pushed thing, but still.
Oh, no, they actually had an original episode when they did the training, the internships. That was an original episode.
That's right. So they've had some good original stories too. So they're a little hit or miss on that. Some expansions of stuff. And actually, in general, the show is really good at expanding on stuff that happens off screen or is only vaguely commented on in the manga, because you want to save time.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. Like, I feel weird because, like, just like from initial impressions, I just honestly feel like Fireworks or Mirai would be.
Yeah, I think the problem is that MHA is an actual popular powerhouse, and people went to see that movie. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, anime movies are always a little bit niche over here, so I could totally see how people only saw the Two Heroes film. And like a lot of this genre of anime movies, everybody knows you're just in it to watch All Might and Deku do a big old smash at the end together or something. Because that's just how those work. It's like the conclusion of all 4 Inuyasha movies, where he does a new super move that he never done before, but it looks really cool. Yeah. Also, yes, fuck you very much. I do own all 4 of those movies. Some of them I recorded off Adult Swim.
I should go watch some Inuyasha.
I don't think if there's a good place you can watch all of it right now. Is it on Crunchyroll?
I don't think so.
Part of it is on Netflix, but not all of it, which is kind of a shame because it's fucking long. I read the conclusion of the manga. I did not watch the actual final episodes where they went back and did it, because I watched the whole show before dubbed. So that's one of those things where you get invested in a show in one language, it's real hard to switch.
Mm-hmm. So, let's see. I think that's enough on Best Film.
Yeah.
So,
let's
do
the big cheese. Anime of the year.
Big cheese. So, the nominees were Devilman Crybaby, Violent Evergarden. Oh, Devilman Crybaby was done by Science Saru. That's why I was maybe interested in that other movie. Violent Evergarden by Kyoto Animation. A Place Further Than the Universe, which was done by Madhouse. Megalobotch, which was TMS Entertainment, 3X Cube. Zombieland Saga, which was by MAPPA, and Hina Matsuri, which was done by Feel. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, all of these are good.
No, those are all really good series. If any of them had won, it would have been good. But hey, there is no salt. Crunchyroll in the world does in fact have taste. Devilman Crybaby, Anime of the Year, everybody. We did it.
Oh, yeah.
Round of applause.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
You love it or hate it, it is world. Like I said, again, I'm a little sad that A Place Further Than the Universe made Anime of the Year, yes, but it didn't win anything. I was like,
yeah, that's rough when there are a couple series in there that they get to the quote unquote the end, right? They're in top billing, Anime of the Year. But unlike the Oscars, they can't even throw you pity Oscars for like best special effects or whatever. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, as this continues and maybe they get more sponsorship, since a couple of these categories were sponsored, they can get more room to do more awards and maybe do a little bit bigger of a presentation and like figure out ways, like we said, to actually maybe spread out some of these categories so shows that are like, you don't get that situation, right, where like Megalobox and A Place Further in the Universe, they got nominated for a shitload of things. They're nominated for Anime of the Year. Didn't win anything, which sucks, right? That you clearly were really good to make it to these lists, but you don't go home with anything. And yes, we're still mad that Dragon Ball Super got to go home with something.
Yeah, that hurts.
Also, you know what?
Well, like
let's be real. We're still much like, not as bad as last year, and you can actually watch, we did a whole episode on Anime Power reacting to it, where you can tell we get a little upset. We're not as upset, but there's still a little bit of MHA dick suck in here, and it does bother us just a little bit. It's a good show. You didn't nominate it for Best Continuing Series, for instance. So, like, what are you doing? Like, it's gonna keep having seasons for a while, guys. The manga's still ongoing, and like we said, they're adapting it smartly, a couple arcs at a time. So, yeah, judge-wise, you have to let other shit win, because just because MHA goes on for, like, 50 years or whatever, it's not really, but at some point it'll probably be, like, over 5 years, over different seasons. Like, you gotta let other stuff win these categories, because at some point, right, like, it's not fair to the other nominees. It's just like, oh, well, you're just gonna get boxed up by fucking MHA again.
Yeah, it won fucking 4 awards. Yeah, it won Best
Much
Boy,
better than last year.
Best English VA, Best Fight, Best Antagonist, and Best Film.
And keep in mind, once again, Deku already won last year. Like, I'm 99% certain he won Best Boy last year, and we were a little wiggly about that.
Wiggly.
Well, yeah, here's the thing, though, Vesper. I don't know about that, because Devilman won Anime of the Year. That's not by Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll gets nothing out of that. That's a Netflix show. So while I can kind of understand that they, as a whole, really like MHA, and that's kind of one of their babies in terms of a franchise they have locked up, other than the fact that people also really do like the Funimation dub. And it seems okay. It's just, like we said, once you get used to something in one language, hard to switch.
Hard to switch.
But they are clearly willing to give other shows that are like, Violet Evergarden was another Netflix exclusive, right? Yep. Like they're willing to give other shows a swing, but I think it's just that to them and to the people, MHA is really popular, so it's probably going to get nominated because everybody loves it for stuff and reasons and things. It does have that kind of like that quality that it brings back, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily winning awards though, because it makes Crunchyroll money. Yeah, I think you got that idea. Like, I don't think we pay attention to the Yuri on Ice year. We weren't doing this then, but no, that totally makes sense. That if Yuri on Ice won a fucking load of awards because everybody loved that show, and it was revolutionizing anime. Whatever, well, it's amazing and forever.
Was really fucking amazing. But I said I didn't pay attention like that year. I only started paying attention to the anime awards last year.
Yeah, because I think we literally started doing a show like just after they announced them. We were like, we paused to like refresh and let them announce them all. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. If it was purely fan voted, yeah, no wonder, because that makes sense, and that can also I can see why that probably wasn't fair. Just because while I'm sure Your and Ice is good, listen, once again, much like Dark Stuff, I don't watch something just because you tell me it's socially revolutionary. Whatever, that's not why I consume entertainment, and honestly I don't really care about ice skating that much. But you can talk about how revolutionary it was. It had a lot of hype behind it, and like we said, I think that's why Megalobox didn't win a lot. It didn't bring the hype, even though it was really good and really well made. I think A Place for the Units might be similar. I don't feel like anybody but Lucky in my personal circle was like really driven by that show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and there are shows we watched that didn't get nominated for anything, and so on. And you can check those out. Some of those were good, some of those were not. I bet it was it Dallas? I bet Dallas joked that we need the anime Razzies. By the way, my win for all of those categories is Killing Bites, the best worst show. Killing Bites season 2. When? Because that show was not great, but goddamn, did I love it.
I'll go with Beatless for best convoluted story that still made me fucking watch it.
Yeah, that's another one. Beatless. You watched it even though you didn't want to watch it. Maybe.
That's like this show is not good, but I like Robot Waifu, and there's a story that's going fucking somewhere. I want to know where this ends.
Or is it?
Yeah, there's a movie out supposedly about it, and I'm just like, I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, I stopped watching the last couple episodes of Beatless because we stopped doing Power Hour, but also you were like, yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh, also, actually, now I think about it, was SAO Alternative on any of those slots? I don't think so.
Which one?
SAO Alternative.
What was the name? You cut off there for a second.
I've cut it like twice. The audience is going to get a little salty. SAO Alternative?
No.
That's kind of a shame, because that one was really good. And also, isn't SAO, like, uber popular?
Let me see if I can find it.
Because that was definitely in the seasons with some of those other shows that we were watching. Because that's when we did Anime Power Hour, was early last year. It was winter and spring. We have a whole hour-long episode about Devilman, and we don't even say all we want to say about Devilman. No, we're not doing another episode on Devilman.
Oh, well, let's see here. Last year, I'm actually looking at the last year nominations because I think it came out. But you're talking about Fate stuff. Heaven's Feel was nominated for Best Film last year.
Solid. That's damn shame for Heaven's Feel Part 2 because it's going to get its ass kicked by Broly.
Probably. I'm trying to check here. Best Action. Oh yeah, and Apocrypha was nominated for Best Action. I don't remember if it was won.
It probably didn't.
No, probably not. Girls Last Tour, All Out. Best Girl, no. Best Boy, no. Best Hero. They have a Best Hero category.
I think that's part of why this year they changed it to Best Protagonist.
Yeah,
I think it was Best Hero and Best Villain last year, which kind of was very loaded.
Yeah.
So that's a good edit they made. But yeah, no. So I was saying that I don't think you listed SAO Alternative in any of those categories, and that was last year. That kind of surprises me. Also, I really like that show, but I love guns, so
guns.
There was all kinds of weird, fun, kitschy guns. The girl had a P90, which is my gunfu. Is there a P90 girl in Girls Frontline yet? I know not in our version, but I don't know if in period. That's kind of a missed opportunity. That's a very iconic gun.
It is a very iconic gun.
Also, there still was the beam saber though, which was great. That was a great fucking scene. Reminded me of Rogue One. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of weird. I wonder if because I'm not interested at all, really. But I know you're following Alicization, and it's supposed to be pretty good.
It is.
So I wonder if the SAO powerhouse will come back next year.
Probably not.
That's a shame.
Like I'm gonna say, like SOA, it's Alicization is solid. It's good, but it's not great.
Does it do better at some of the things people don't like about SAO though?
Oh yeah, no, like they definitely they tighten down the rein. It's much more focus driven. It's like one objective. They do a little bit of time skipping around, which you kind of miss, but at the same time you don't.
Okay, so
and it's literally about it literally becomes a story about two guys trying to literally fight the world, and it's kind of great.
All right, so we'll see if it maybe brings some hype back, but yeah, I'm definitely sensing that if certain shows did not get a big cultural atmosphere, even though we said that Darling wasn't super impactful ultimately, it doesn't leave like a great anime in history. It was okay to watch. It was pretty good. I feel like the animation and the storytelling could have cut loose a little bit more, but I was okay with how it ended. It did not crush my soul like I deeply feared it would. Which was great. So, but hey, it got nominated for one award, and even though we said that the anime opening wasn't the most impressive, it still won something. So, like, that lets you know how much that cloud of hype power is good. Even though, I don't know, I'm also curious how much wokenomics comes into this, which is the turning the perception of being woke into money and approval. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Hey, guess what? Those corporations probably don't care about your social agendas, but they do care about your money. So if appearing to have your social agenda gets them your money, they'll do it. And like on the other hand, for positive social change, I'm completely okay with that. Just because, hey, that's a way that stuff happens. But like, I don't think of any corporation as suddenly becoming a moral center just because they have like an opinion. So art is the same way. I'm curious if because that was kind of a thing I think with Yuri on Ice, why it was so popular was there was a certain amount of wokeitude to it, which honestly we've talked about before about how Japan's cultural sensibilities are very different from ours in the West sometimes, and it shows. So I think it was a breath of fresh air to people. Mm-hmm. I know that some people were a little not liking how Darling turned out in its wokeosity at points. That said, this is something that I don't like people drawing conclusions about with stories. Like, there were some people who were upset about the perception of the world because it did kind of seem like it was falling into, like, heteronormative pairings and stuff. And, like, but no, there were characters who were, like, there was a very prominent character who struggled with the fact that she was gay and the person she liked was not. That was a very prominent character arc. There were characters who were kind of they were somewhere in that LGBT spectrum, the nines. They were something was going on in there that wasn't explored by the series because the series had to end at some point. But they turned out okay, and like they weren't complete assholes the whole time. But the whole construction of the series was arranged by evil soul-sucking aliens from another dimension who wanted to destroy and assimilate us. So if their society was like weird and fucked up, that's not necessarily like take that as a blow to how you think your ideal society is. They were the bad guys. If the society of Darling was weird and fucked up, it was weird and fucked up. And I'll say this some people might not agree with me, but hey, I'm sorry if you are homosexual. If you need to repopulate the earth and you no longer have the ability to do science babies, I'm sorry. Some people have to be straight. Like, I understand that can be a point of contention, and I'm all behind science babies. They were literally children, and their one scientist who knew how to do that got crushed by fallen rocks. They needed to have some regular-ass kids at some point, right? Yeah. The human race needed to repopulate. I'm sorry. There are certain biological constraints at times. And I say this as an ultra-leaning pro-transhumanist. So, like, I would love if we can overcome the limitations of biology. But, hey, guess what? If your planet has been apocalypsed, you can't. That's not how that works. That's not a message. That's like there's a logistical problem. At least I certainly don't think it was a message. If it was a message, it was aimed at Japan, who we've talked about before, has a negative birth rate and are literally killing themselves.
Stop working so much, have more sex.
Basically. Literally. But yeah, we've talked about our opinions on Darling a lot, where the show didn't wow us, but I think it also drew some unfortunate flack because it was a story in progress, and some people jumped the gun on, like I said, how woke it was or not.
I said, it's a series I enjoy, like, the best way I can explain it is a series I enjoyed watching, but I'm not gonna watch.
No, there's no reason to watch it again. You got everything. You got everything you needed out of it, hopefully, and if you didn't get everything out of it, I don't think a rewatch is gonna help.
Yeah, no.
Especially considering you and I picked apart the themes of that show every week as it came out. Like, we were in there with a scalpel poking that because we really liked that aspect of it to kind of like, where's this going? What do these themes mean? What's going on with these characters? Because most of them were, for an ensemble cast, most of them were pretty diverse and had arcs and stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And almost everybody who acted like an asshole, except the adults, Turned out to be okay in the end. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Anyway, let's see. That's
What's
all the anime awards. And also I rambled about Darling in the Franxx for like 5 minutes.
Again.
Hey, listen, whether or not the show was necessarily like long-term emotionally impactful, at the very least, the act of us regularly watching it and talking about it was like a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Much like with Devilman, though also, that hurt me. I can be honest, I don't know if I'm ever going to watch Devilman again.
It's like, I'm sorry, this series has been seared into my soul. I can never forget it.
Yeah, it's like, listen, there's some stuff you don't necessarily need to experience multiple times. Once you're in there, do you need to do it more? But yeah, so that's anime.
Mm-hmm. What's the time?
2.5 hours.
Alright, so we got a little bit of time left.
Yeah.
So real quick, going on, this is probably going to be over by the time this makes it to public, but Dead or Alive 6 is having a free weekend where you can download a demo of the game and fuck around with a bit. That's what I'm doing. Lucky likes fighting games, but I don't go for, like, necessarily mainstream titles, I would say.
I feel like I'm kind of the same. I like the aesthetics of fighting game, but I'm not super serious into the, like, the purity of the art or whatever of fighting games.
Yeah. So, like, there's only, like, 2 fighting games I really, really play. I have my 2D fighter, which is Guilty Gear. I have Guilty Gear Xrd. I have it digitally, so once in a while I load up Jam and I fucking Chinese cook everyone around. And my 3D fighter is Dead or Alive. Like, I've been playing Dead or Alive since the fucking Sega Dreamcast days. Am I good at it? Hell no. But I still love it. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The reasons why I got into these 2 games is because boobs were jiggling. Alright? I was young. I like that. And, guess what? Growing up, I still like that. But now I can actually play the fucking game and appreciate it for the fighting aspects. So, speaking of jiggly tits and 3D fighting games, Dead or Alive 6 actually had a bit of recent controversy over at EVO Japan, in which they were displaying a demo of the game, and they got a little saucy, a little raunchy, I would say. Basically, having girls fight and, pausing the game at, sexually suggestive situations, cracking jokes, zooming in, high-casing the, booby physics, as they were. Which is, a little tongue-in-cheek, but, as I said, like, Dead or Alive originally was never necessarily shy in this. I mean, we're talking about a game whose spin-off is literally called Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, which is just a glorified vacation simulator with beautiful girls. And, it doesn't try to hide it. It doesn't try to gloss over that. And as long as you're okay with that, it's actually a pretty fun experience. Like, I tell people, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach is when I want to go pretend I'm having a vacation. That's what I go play. Like, the third one is getting an English translation, not a Western release, an English translation that you have to literally buy overseas. But, I plan to get it because, like, sometimes I just want to wind down, go jet skiing, and play some volleyball with some, pixelated girls. Right? So, I've never done that. But, interestingly enough, Team Ninja has gone on to say that the latest Dead or Alive will be de-emphasizing the sexualized nature of its female fighter. Which, kind of, is a mixed bag. Because to desexualize their character isn't to say make them less sexy, it's just to put them in, less compromising positions. And they have made, like I said, I've been playing the demo, and they've been kind of doing this.
But honestly, that makes sense because, like, I mean, especially if you go back far enough, like, there's how you evolve a character design, and just at some point there are looks that aren't good anymore. That's just how science and how culture evolves. But you can be like, no, in certain markets, the idea of exploiting sexuality has become a questionable practice. Don't act like it wasn't a not questionable practice at some point.
Yeah.
And so they're like, nah, we don't want to go whole hog on this because we know that it's not going to resonate with people anymore.
But at the same time, it's still kind of doing it because, as I said, I played the demo, and first thing I'm noticing, it's like, yeah, these tits are still flying everywhere.
But I mean, the fact that they unscientifically and completely unrealistically do that is kind of a thing. That's part of their ethos. Yeah, just like you can argue that to some people it's not even sexual because it's crazy. It's just like
crazy. It's kind of funny. Like I was playing Honoka, who's this cute high school girl with this variety of moves. Her tits are fucking huge. Her idle animation where her just bouncing back and forth is like, these are going up and down a fucking lot. I don't know if I should be aroused.
Lucky, I need to get you. I know we're going to talk about maybe Lucky Rants later, but I need to get you to read the I have this new anime plot thing for me, the one with, humongous Bondonkamalu's. I think I need you to have you never read that?
No.
Okay.
And I'm playing it. I'm having a grand old time because Dead or Alive is, I think, it's one of the few games that has a dedicated throw and hold system. Basically, you basically just tap one button and you can grab and throw an opponent. And if you push another button, you can actually counter an opponent. Not just actually, just throw a punch in and make them stop coming. No, you actually grab them, counter them, you throw them, you kick them in the face. It's actually really cool. So, you have your super aggressive players who are just nonstop comboing. You pull off a hold, you just stop their combo and you completely kill the momentum. It's great. I fucking love it. It's super technical, but it's also really easy to pull off. You don't need to be, you can do cool ass shit without having to be an ultra high tier level player. It's one of the things I've always loved about Dead or Alive, and that's why I've stuck with it, because it's part sexy, part cool. It's amazing. And in this game, in their attempts to sexualize it, they've started adding things now, clothes will get dirty, they'll get they'll get messed up, there's blood, sweat, attacks look like they fucking hurt sometimes. You're like, damn. So, I am thinking they are trying to, but at the same time, when they say they're trying to desexualize it, I'm pretty sure you're not actually putting as much effort into that as you guys are saying you are.
Well, I mean, and I'm sure, given that they have been somewhat unrepentant about the idea that, no, listen, we understand that you Western normies have your social sensibilities, and we don't cater to that, so we're just not going to bother. How they're not doing it, they're not officially licensing Extreme 3, but they know that they have customers over here, so they're still going to sell it to you.
Also, that other female fighting game, what was it? What is it? We were just talking about it. It's
Describe the type. What is it? 3D?
It's 3D. Is
it... I mean, I don't think it... Well, Tekken's not necessarily super sexy.
No, it's not Tekken. It starts with an S.
Soul Calibur?
Despair! Help me! No. Well, Soul Calibur also has the jiggly tits, but it also has weapons. That is, its gimmick.
Yeah. Though, honestly, I think that wait. At some point, they've become self-aware. Skullgirls? No, it's 2D. I'm dumb.
Was it Basura? Oh, Senran Kagura. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Have you seen this game, Omega?
Yes, I actually recently... It's funny. Inside Gaming recently did a talk about the idea that quote-unquote fan-service games aren't being made anymore. Which, there was some putting your foot in your mouth that, as a straight man, I just can't get fan service anymore. Because there have been a lot of toning downs or working on designs so they're not as good. But Senran Kagura came out and came up, I should say, and was mentioned as no, the Japanese are still making titty games if you want titty games.
Yeah, just titty games are not making it over here because Western people are no, we can't have that in our purest country. Get on out with that. And I'm
yeah, I don't really.
Just give it to me.
Hold on, I got off mic a little there. I've said this before. First of all, I am not a proponent of the 100% that what you do in the game you do in real life, because that's not true. We know that's not true for certain urges anyway. So I feel like it's probably not necessarily true for anything. People who have problems conflating fiction with reality have other deeper problems that have nothing to do with the type of fiction they are consuming.
Oh yeah.
They are having a problem where they are not learning how to properly apply their real life brain to real life stuff. And I feel like we've gotten into a period where there's a little bit of a witch hunt for any kind of sexualization, which I don't think is healthy.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you do that kind of repression is people get
rebounds.
weirder. It kind of rebounds. Honestly, I think that's what Japan is doing. The reason why they have all that titty stuff is because they have a very uptight culture.
Yeah, why do you think, so much weird porn and shit comes out of Japan?
And
Remember,
they have a lot of horny people who don't know what to do with their stuff, and they can't talk about it out in the open.
Like, yeah.
So they get weirder and more intense, and then some of that spills back over here where we're not as horny right now. But
oh yeah, Shima Moeta is definitely a stab at that. But fun fact, you want to know how fucking weird Japan is? Japan is still the world record holder for largest orgy.
Which I'm sure was on film and was a thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, like Japan is a country that is hardcore repressed, and as a result, they are actually secretly really horny. And some of the stuff they do is really weird, and in the fiction versus reality construct could be seen as kind of fucked up. But that's what happens, I think, if you go a little too deep on the repression train. So, like, I feel like you need to be careful about how you police stuff, because you don't want to necessarily suppress people. Instead, what you want to do is help people like grow and express themselves in a healthy way. So, like, I feel like we should be careful about the trigger pulling of some of our anti-sexualization trends, because like having a healthy libido is important, and
managing that libido is also important.
Yeah, so you need to let people kind of like figure out how to do that stuff on their own, not just no. Oh my gosh, you're gonna think women are only good for giant bouncing boobs if you play giant bouncy titty games. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you like giant bouncy titty games because there's something that's already happened to you that makes you like that. Because we can have this conversation with one of our patrons, Axe, where he's just like, I don't understand the obsession with huge boobs. I'm like, I can't help you. They're not for you. You whatever in part of your development, you didn't get that switch flipped. I did. I love huge boobs. Lucky loves huge boobs. Honestly, I love all parts of the female anatomy, but. Like, if you want to throw something obvious, I'm like, no, I can't say I'm not interested in that. Like, so, you know, there are lots of women who can't say
I'm
they're
gonna
not
be real,
interested in huge boobs.
like playing games like with waifu bait, like honestly, I say that shit helps because like honestly, it's like it's an outlet for me. It's all like, yes, give me affection, girls. Yes, show me that skin. I am a P. It's like I don't have to I don't feel like uncomfortable around women constantly. It's like, see, I don't know, like, where this, like, I never understood where this implication that guys who, like, play these kind of games are, like, inept with, like, dealing with women. Like, I really don't. Like, where did this, like, come together? It's like, no, I'm cool.
I mean, like I said, I feel like if there is a problem between your virtual conduct and your real-life conduct, that's a disconnect that's on that person. That is the burden of the individual. They have some kind of something that they need to sort out. And I will agree that's not necessarily your business to sort out other people's issues for them. But, you know, hate the player, don't hate the game.
Mm-hmm. Damn it.
I mean, like, I feel like there was a story I also heard where, like, the guys in the company behind Dead or Alive, like, one of their executives did get kind of ousted for sexual harassment. So, like, that's an unfortunate situation where stuff happens. On the other hand, I feel like that might be an endemic problem to corporate culture that we are only just now starting to raise as an issue and exposing. So that's a whole nother kettle of fish. That's like, listen, much like the de-emphasis on titty games, culture shifts and rotates, and I mean, some stuff is purely progressive. Like, in general, future generations are more open and progressive about stuff. So on the other hand, maybe we'll get better at acknowledging sexuality and whatnot, as opposed to this kind of like era of uncomfortableness that has been historically. But at the same time, some stuff's just how it shifts and rolls, and we get new understanding and we get new cultural desires and trends, and they push stuff out, and we're like, oh golly gee willikers, this is kind of bad.
Like, this goes into our conversation back on Let's Talk FGO about Emiya Alter. Like, things only really get offensive if you think they're offensive.
Yeah, like you said, the state of being offended is a personal state.
Yeah. In some cases, like, no, like, this person was legit actually acting down to you. But
I mean, like, there are some actions that come out of malicious intent, but hey, there are still some people who you can throw some real malicious stuff at them, and it just rolls off them. They don't care. Yeah. So, like,
and guess what?
Yeah, no, I think we're both going to say the same thing. It's just like, that's another just kind of individual thing.
Yep. So again, I'm happy with how the DOA 6 is coming out. It comes out March 1st. Like, I want it. I'm probably not going to get it for a bit, but I definitely want it. Like, it's something that I can chill, play a few matches. I can see some titties bounce. I can, like, body slam some girls. It'll make me happy. Also, the DOA male fighters are cool too. It has fucking Ryu Hayabusa, fucking Ninja Gaiden.
By the way, I would like to point out to the audience, there's once again that very real idea that reality is separate from fiction. Like he said, he just wants to body slam girls. You could take that out of context, but I'm pretty sure that Lucky does not actually body slam women in his real life, because body slamming anybody's kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
It's a whole thing that we don't do. Oh my god, he's a well-adjusted, functional human.
Yeah, like if you take that out of context, everyone who plays a fighting tournament should be arrested and put in jail. I mean, come on.
Context. Well, luckily we're in the world of deepfakes and audio editing. You can now there's nobody will be able to trust you said anything, because you can just say that somebody doctored that.
Yeah, I don't care. Like I said, like Lucky's pretty unashamed about what he says and usually owns up to it, because I don't know. It's like I don't feel like, as I say, I'm one of those people who insults just kind of roll off of. I'm like, whatever, because I know who I am. I know what gets me going. I know what makes me stop. And like honestly, I think that it's like that's why like my core rule is don't be a fucking dick. Even if like the only time I turn into a dick is when I see other people doing a dick. I become what I fear most.
All right, so we're at about 2:45. So I feel like there's another thing that you wanted to do that we should go ahead and get out on the air.
All right,
before we wrap up, because I'm gonna like die of hunger because it's 9 o'clock at night.
I'm sorry, dude. So one last thing. So we have 2 Patreon goals which are directly related to me: our 100 and our 500 level. Our 100 level has long been met, but I feel like its content isn't what the original of Lucky Rants is not. Oh god, how do I want to say that? It's not something that is easily realized. Because how Lucky Rants works is usually I have to get real upset about something, and I sit down at a computer and I mad lad type for like 10-15 minutes.
Well, and then the production is then you go back and you find an appropriate thing and you read it.
Yeah. And then I guess send it off to Omega. Now, the thing about this is some of these rants are old, and they dealt with certain context that like I may have forgotten or I don't fully grasp anymore. And sometimes like I'll start a rant and Omega will say something and it just makes me lose my trail, and then I just can't finish it. And I'm like, this kind of makes it hard. Like it's kind of hard to force a rant for a month-to-month thing, because I don't know. Like ranting needs to feel like natural, unless you.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I feel like the point was not necessarily that, like, because you have quite a bit of backlog, honestly.
Yeah.
The point was not necessarily that you had to come up with new content all the time. It's just we started doing this as a thing, and then like, people were excited for this concept and really into it. So it's like, hey, we can do this as a thing, and like push forward. And
I'm not saying. Yeah. So this is what I want to do. Remember how we did my one-off of Let's Talk, where it was just me, and I basically did a live recording, and just threw that up for like 2.5 hours. I would like to make that instead the $100 goal of a monthly Live with Lucky, in which throughout the previous month, figure out a particular system. I gather suggestion ideas from our Patreons and put that all into a show. So people can suggest to me ideas, issues, things they want me to talk about, things they want me to sing. If they want me to rant about something, put that in there. And I gather this all up like for the first like 3 weeks of the month, put it all together, write out a show, and then I do a live show at the end of the month where everyone can participate. I talk about stuff, rant, sing, do all this stuff, interact with everyone as a whole. And just have this kind of giant get together. And that's what I would like to replace the $100 goal with, which means since it's already been met, we'll basically start like doing this immediately next month.
Yep.
If you're okay with it.
No, I'm fine with that system. That's great. I was just thinking like, Lucky's basically not really improv because you're writing it, but it's almost like you practicing your stand-up kind of like you're gonna figure out a routine and then but do it to a performance with the audience, and that's great. Like that's the thing. Like the reason why those lower goals are about more Lucky is because that's what people want. Like people do really honestly want more Lucky in involvement in the show, and we tried to figure out ways to bring that, though some of them have requirements. Yeah. Lucky Rants was kind of the first idea, the first iteration of that, because, like we said, that was really popular.
Oh, sorry, what was that, Omega?
I was just saying that hashtag Lucky Rants was kind of just the thing we did just because as a concept that was really popular to people. Just the fact that you would go on these rants in the Discord, and so much so that we set up a separate channel for you to do it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh well, we can do Lucky, you can dramatically read these, right, and kind of like put some of the emotion. So that was like a thing that people wanted, but obviously. we talked about Anime Power Hour a lot this episode. Like, there are some show ideas that you go to pilot and basically you throw some stuff out there and you're like, yeah, I don't know if this, as a production, this works.
Yeah. So, and at the $500 level, which is the next one, which is Bartending with Lucky, I, again, want to kind of make that more broad, where it's just not me bartending, as though bartending can still be a part of it. Because... Yeah,
well, I mean, once again, that's like... That may change in, like, testing or piloting, because similar to Lucky Rants, the other reason why we call that, like, bartending with Lucky is because that's the phrase people use to us for what they wanted.
Yeah. But, like I said, like, the way I want to phrase these new ideas is the $100 is live with Lucky, and the $500 one is life with Lucky. Like, that's how I want to pitch them.
Well, that is also on brand, because right now you're listening to What's Up with Omega and Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
With a question mark in there.
As I said, because I feel like if I broaden out the spectrums of what is the content of these, I can basically pull more ideas and do more things instead of trying to keep myself regulated to this one or two things.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel is what is important to keeping the life in them.
Yeah. And I mean, like we've talked about that before. That's honestly, like, even though some of our stuff doesn't necessarily get huge views, but we still do some of it anyway, or mostly I do it, just because you got to have a certain amount of flexibility in your brand. Like, you got to come at it for this multiple topics. And if you get too invested in one subject matter, one, it can really kill you, but also someday your subject matter can die, so you need to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at some point, Nasu could go crazy in his artistry and just be like, when you die in the game, you die in real life, and then when somebody quote-unquote beats FGO, and all the servers in Japan self-destruct, and it ends. It's probably not going to happen, but you never know. Like, something crazy could happen, and then, well, shit, we're out of a show. So we need to cultivate multiple audiences. On the patron thing, so there's a couple things also I want to talk about there.
Mm-hmm.
I think now, with our current, like, dollar and patron level, we're over 40, we're making over $150. We've long talked about the idea, so I don't necessarily, I don't know about the exact format, especially because I don't want to step on your new show idea for Live with Lucky, but another thing I think we've talked about doing before is kind of like the Ask Us Anything format, so hopefully the idea would be to, maybe for like the first half of a month, to leave it open for all patrons, because this was more of a like bulk of patron styled goal, but just patrons can leave any question they want us to answer. They can ask if it's both of us or just one of us specifically, and then at some point we'll collect all the questions and we'll shoot the show. The show will be public, obviously, but questions will only be for patrons, but they'll be for patrons of all levels. And the beauty of this is the show will be as long or as short as the questions are. So, like, if you ask us something dumb and short, and maybe people can, like, maybe like one post per person, but obviously not necessarily like one question at a time, but if you've got like a couple related questions, and we can work on an exact format if you want to do this going forward. But if we only get like two questions and they're short answers, it's a 5-minute thing. Lucky and I do like between other stuff. So that's not meant to be like a big deal. That's just another opportunity, because we want to grow that patron interaction. Like, as much as I love our patrons for actually contributing, and some of them for being here, we got a couple in recording right now listening to us. We've had more who've kind of like cycled back and forth, and we get a lot of response back from that. But listen, you guys are great. You're literally paying us. You're supporting us in this. So I would love to have more interaction at all levels with you guys. So that's kind of where the questions format. So I think on the 1st of this month, maybe a little bit later, we'll let everybody's payments and stuff get sorted out, because patrons weird sometimes. And seeing as I am not one of our own patrons, like, I don't necessarily see how patrons see our site. So, like, I don't know if, like, something's going on with your payment methods and they're collecting payments slowly if, like, you don't get your benefits all the time, kind of thing. So, like, I don't want to accidentally lock anybody out while Patreon decides to be weird, because I know that this month, at first they were very slow processing payments, which was kind of a weird, confusing thing going on that we can't control. But soonish, when the new month starts, and hopefully once everybody's patronage is sorted out, I want to just open a thread and be like, ask us anything, and we can have like another thread which will be suggestion ideas for Live with Lucky. Whatever you want Lucky to talk about at length or have a discussion with, because he'll be live with people. I honestly, maybe Live with Lucky doesn't even have to, like, it can be on Patreon, but considering, assuming you're going to do it open to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not even have it be just patrons, because technically to post, you need a Patreon account, but still, we could, like, leave it open for topics on Patreon.
I was saying that, like, patrons, if you're a patron, you can basically guide what I'm going to talk about. Because even if patrons don't give me a lot of content, I can fucking still come up with a bunch of shit. Because that's basically, like, because remember, when I did the holiday special, as it were, that was all just me just coming up with stuff to talk about, and that was still like I think I gave you the thing. It was like 2 to 3 pages of shit for me to talk about, and I still pulled from what the audience was saying.
Okay.
So the only difference, I can still do that, but the only difference is now Patreons can influence what I want to talk about, which it then adds another level to Patreon interactivity, which might fuel more patrons. And then I just basically have the live studio audience when I'm doing all this, who I can, go off live. And it's like, if they show me something interesting
much like we talked about, actually, to hype up another event, we're definitely going to do live. Probably definitely going to do live, like the Let's Talk Kingdom Hearts 3. That's kind of what we're talking about, too, is to, like, we're going to collect our thoughts, and then the audience can bounce stuff off us, too. Because those shows are usually very popular.
Actually, I am curious.
And I do... Like, I have other thoughts, because I wanted to talk maybe a little bit more about general tabletop topics, because we did actually have a big, long conversation just randomly at night with everybody, because you decided you were just going to jump in voice chat. So we actually ended up talking about a lot of tabletop topics, so that apparently is something that actually has a lot of resonance with at least the vocal parts of our audience, but our videos on that stuff don't always get views. Like, our actual plays are very tiny stuff, but those are for archival purposes, just because it's great to actually put those out there for people to cross-reference later. I understand that actual play stuff isn't for everybody. That said, if you actually do want us to talk more about tabletop stuff and like show interest in that, do actually, make sure to give those some views, give those a try, just because we don't necessarily make the videos based on how many views we think they'll get, but the amount of like views and responses we get back on videos definitely dictate how much activity we put in certain things at certain times. Just because we know if we're getting a lot of activity and a little action on a topic, we'll put more effort into more stuff on that topic. So I've been constantly thinking about, especially because we seem to have a little bit of direction at, because this is something that other more tabletop-focused groups do, like on Patreon. They will do, like, games with patrons. This would have to be a limited number of slots, obviously, because I don't want to, like, get 20 people to commit to running a game, because that would probably be mostly me. I'm not going to necessarily put that evil on Lucky. So that's the thing I want to just think... that's the thing I'm constantly thinking about as a possible Patreon entrant. I'd have to double-check how some people are running their schemes for that, like what the level is, because I don't necessarily, like... I don't want to put it like so high that some of our longer running fans and even some extant patrons feel like I'm trying to milk them out of more money because they're interested in a topic. But it's always a thing to be like, and the reason why I think it should be a Patreon thing and it have limited slots, just because control. Like, just because this, setting up a game, recording it, this is a thing that takes multiple hours. I want to know people are invested in it, and like, and also the limited slots are just, I don't want to necessarily have to troll through possible audience members to be like, okay, who's in? Yeah. So it would probably be like 6 slots, and it would be like, hey, if you're not interested in this month's game, I don't know how I do it. Maybe I do polls. Maybe I just decide what's cool to me each month. You can feel free to duck out. Because while the slot would be limited, I do feel like you'd still, whatever price level it gets, you'd still get all the other price level benefits. It's a special slot to get in the monthly games or whatever. And like I said, I have to do some research on this to like figure out what's a good pricing and stuff and talk with people. But it's just something that once again occurred to me because, as I said, I feel like there's a lot of people out there who, suddenly had an interest in this, and it surprised me because, like I said, we don't necessarily get a lot of traction on those topics, at least in terms of analytics, Mm-hmm. So yeah, and I honestly always want to do more tabletop stuff, and I can make time to do it. It's just, you need the right motivation. which I think how do you feel about tomorrow to maybe game some?
Oh, I'm gonna be down.
Okay.
I got nothing going on.
Well, we'll see if we can get some time together, and we'll shoot another episode of Mages of War. Those are all out now, so I don't have any backlog. And I actually had some ideas for some stuff I want to do like right away after we finished last week. So
now we can finally finish this mission that's taken us 3 sessions. I hope it ends next session.
I also hope it ends next session. It really should, one way or the other, because I'll have other stuff I want to do.
I want to get out. I want to get my egg salad, and I want a punch of Dash.
So there were a couple other things I maybe wanted to talk about, but I'll leave them off for next time. I'll give you some teasers.
Sorry.
So, one thing was just we had a dice porn thread that just kind of came up.
Oh yeah.
So that was super funny to post all these cool different dice, and it got me on a website that does these artisan designer dice. I wanted to just kind of walk through that with you, Lucky, and through the audience. I'll save that for another episode, just because it's really interesting, and I do actually want to do it. The other thing is just shout out to the Defunct Land YouTube channel. So a little bit of a backstory. I started checking these videos out because I just randomly saw their Defunct Land TV series on stuff like Bear in the Big Blue House, Zabumofu, and recently, after I've been following them, they recently released an episode on Between the Lions.
Man, I love Bear in the Big Blue House.
Yeah, no, like I don't think I was like a super tight watcher of it because it was aimed a little low, right? Like it was definitely aimed at younger children, but it was also passable to older kids. So I watched some of it when it was on. Whatever. Listen, when you're a kid, TV is TV.
Little brothers, so like it would always be on. Is Bear in the Big Blue House. I'm gonna see
it's kind of it's really positive. You should watch the Defunct Land TV on it. It's really nice. Between the Lions one was really striking to me because that was another super formative show.
Yeah.
Zabumofu was also like I watched a lot of that as a kid because I once again, you might not get this from my crotchety nature and my hatred of the sun. I fucking love nature. Like animals and nature and science shit. I love all that. So I was super into that. God, when I was a kid, I was really kind of cut up when Steve Irwin died because I watched his TV shows and like he always had a very positive message about animals and stuff. It lots of impactful stuff like that. So I got onto them because they started talking about old defunct children's TV, basically. But then I actually decided because their primary Defunct Land is about basically discontinued amusement park rides. Here's the other thing I love. I fucking love history. And oh man, like if you don't think there's drama and historical tension in the history of theme parks and theme park rides, you're wrong. This show is put together really great, lots of research. It's got like jokes and stuff too. Like it's well written and produced, but it's just so interesting to hear about like the story of just lots of Disney rides, but occasionally some Universal stuff, and just hear about their hiccups and their complexities and like when they decided to fold. And it's like super interesting to watch these couple of seasons that are out and be like, wow, yeah, no, this is super interesting. So that's something I followed, and I don't really have anything other to say about it other than to plug it. So that's that. Defunct Land's dope, yeah. I wanted to do more.
Good times. But I'm pretty sure we're getting up on that red line where Patreon.
Yeah, we're on 3 hours, so let's not let this run any longer than it has to.
Yeah.
We did a good what's up. I really need to eat because like now it's almost 9:30 and I'm gonna like pass out because I ate lunch earlier actually, so it's been like over 6 hours since I last ate something in my day. And as we discussed earlier at the beginning of the show 3 hours ago, I'm not a super heavy eater, so I need some calories.
I am going to. As I said, I have eaten a big meal. I'm gonna coast on this for like another 6 hours.
No, solid. So. Like I said, I hope next week, now that I'm free of the bonds of Kingdom Hearts, I'm going to get back into anime. I'm going to catch up on Slime. I'll maybe check out some of the stuff we've talked about that came out this season. Get back into it a little bit. Because, goddamn, it's been a while since it's been a hot minute since we talked about anime. Like, current anime. And honestly, like...
Be careful about going back into Kingdom Hearts. It's, like, honestly, like, the real fun of Kingdom Hearts is after you beat it and you just go around and fuck off.
No, I mean, I'm gonna get some... I want Ultimate Weapon now. I'm like, now that this is new, this is not something that Kid Me has done, there's some shit I gotta take care of, but I'm not gonna be, like, driven. Also, I don't have to worry about the ending, because once again, it's a Kingdom Hearts ending. It's like, once you get in there, you get in there. It's like a solid, like, I feel like the time from when I did the final save point to, like, the cutscene rolling, the credits ended rolling was, like, a good couple of hours. Like, so, once I powered through all that, I can just relax and do other stuff, right? Like, it's not I can fully explore the gummy settings, because I didn't do that a super lot, and, like, dick around and get treasures and stuff, and interact with minigames more, but no, I definitely want to, now that I don't have to worry about, like, a pressure to, like, get stuff done, I'm gonna hopefully get back into anime. I don't know what else I'm gonna play besides just dick around in Kingdom Hearts 3. I might, now that I've also got more, I feel like I have more free time. I downloaded Hitman for PS Plus. I'm probably gonna play that. Maybe I'll stream some of it. I don't know. We haven't streamed shit in forever.
I picked that up. I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I've seen people play it before, so I wanna try it out because I've never played a Hitman
It's almost
before.
like a puzzle game.
Yeah,
it's a puzzle game with guns and death.
So I want to kind of figure it out, and I might, like I said, I might stream it. I got to double check how my setup is for that on my PS4. Make sure I have all my microphones and stuff because we haven't done that in forever.
Yeah, yeah. Like honestly, like I'm torn between playing more Hitman and playing more Dead or Alive. I'll probably play Dead or Alive because I think it's only like the demo's only this weekend.
Yeah, fair. No, solid point. So that's what we're gonna do in the coming week. Obviously, there'll be more tabletop stuff will come out. But I don't know. I like at times I feel like do we need to also have a tabletop corner, or do we just address those topics on WhatsApp when they come up? Right at the moment, I'm leaning towards just talk about it on WhatsApp when it comes up.
I say talk about it on WhatsApp when it comes up
because WhatsApp is about anything.
Yes, it is.
Because the last time we tried to make a super focused show, it killed us a little bit. That's Power Hour. At the same time, though, all this anime award shit made me kind of nostalgic for Power Hour. Because there was some good stuff in there. It was rough to do the time limit and like the summary and stuff.
Maybe when we get YouTube famous and we have cameras and people can like throw up images that don't get fucking taken down for copyright, go back to it.
Mm-hmm. Or
I think
we would have like mill out stuff.
Like honestly, we could probably go back to Power Hour if we didn't do it like on a weekly basis, but maybe on like a core basis. And we got a couple cameras so people can see us being animated, and then like we do some post editing to throw up images of shit that we saw and talked about. Yeah,
and then like the Power Hour is like the challenge. Can you talk about an entire core of anime in 1 hour?
Yeah. So like the Power Hour idea is a good one. It's just we do not have the production capabilities right now to pull off something that's engaging to.
If we wanted to make sure that was super engaging, and also like you said, we need to do it in a format that doesn't stress us out and kill us because. Yeah. Constantly watch, what was it, like half a dozen or more anime every week on the clock. That's troublesome. That takes effort and energy that sometimes you just don't feel. Like sometimes you just don't feel like watching anime.
Yeah. So if we space it out to like maybe like, just a core of anime.
Yeah, 12 episodes at most. 13-ish, I guess, but you know what I mean.
There's something that you can binge, something you can work on all throughout the season. Videos, because as I said, like that's one of those things that I keep saying is severely hurting, that we are not consolidated and we don't have cameras so people can see us make wild gesticulations and our faces.
You mean so people can't watch us play Azur Lane?
I think it'd be hilarious if on one
if
side
you could see the moments when we check the fuck out. Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Like you could watch me lean back away from my microphone when Lucky starts talking for a long period. I'm like, I'm just gonna relax. He's got this.
Mm-hmm. I would like bring gabs. I would have signs like that. I would just pull out of nowhere, just to says weird shit to the camera.
Wile E. Coyote.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's we do have plans to grow the channel and do more stuff.
Like there are definitely ideas of things we want to do down the pipeline. It's just we are at a plateau where we can't do it yet.
Yeah, we've always had ideas. It's the struggle to make those work. But hey, we got a decent audience. We're doing pretty. Our last couple of I don't think they've necessarily been super provocative, but the last couple of Let's Talk FGOs have been doing pretty good, and that one big one, number 70, is getting real close to 5K views. Also, our last couple Let's Up have been doing slightly. What's Ups have been doing slightly better. They're like over 200 or over 250. I think that's honestly because the Kingdom Hearts buzz is in right now. We're hitting popular topics.
Oh, by the way, YouTube monetization. Have they gotten back to you on that?
No, we're in a down cycle right now. I'm not able to apply yet. I gotta wait a couple days. Then we apply again, and we keep going. We keep going, we keep growing. Until someday it works, or we can talk to somebody and we can make it work.
Let's see, how many...
We're advertisers friendly, I swear.
We swear. I swear. Yeah, we're at 1,670 subscribers. We should get some goddamn monetization.
We're doing good. At some point, we'll have to make up some dumb, stupid, big thing we're going to have to do at 2K, but not quite yet.
Not quite yet. We still got some time.
We'll figure something out. We'll do something fun. Listen, guys, we love hanging out with you. Honestly, I feel like people would appreciate it even if 2K we just said, oh, we'll do another week of live episodes, because people love those. People love us. And we love you. And if you love this episode, give it a like. If you have any comments about any of the many, many things we talked about for 3.5 hours, hopefully some of that trims out in editing. Not 3.5, really, but 3:10. We're pushing it. Give us in the comment section down below. You can also join our Discord where you can actually hang out with us live sometime. For the time being, that'll totally be where Live with Lucky is hosted, etc. And, of course, if you're new here and have not already, please subscribe to this channel. And, what's up?
Someone put StudiOmega was here on the fucking USA tour.
Nice!
Oh, man, high five. High fucking five.
Yeah, alright, we're gonna hype that up put that in a bullet point, or put that in the show notes for Let's Talk FGO. We gotta talk about that next week. I'm glad that we got that on camera, though, or on mic. Yeah. Where was I? Oh, yeah, sub to the channel if you like it. It's the best way to keep track of our new videos. Don't forget that bell for notifications, because, hey, guess what? Once again, because we're kind of limited, sometimes rendering videos takes a long time, and they come out at weird times sometimes, so notifications let you know when we actually post something. And, of course, like it says at the front of the video, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early. You can get this episode in audio format. You can ask us questions soon. You can give suggestions to Lucky soon. And lots of other goodies, and it would really help us out. Also, we really need to push our merch better. But you can buy t-shirts from us, and that helps us out a lot in, like, a singular purchase if you're concerned about supporting us month to month. Just a thing to think about. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna go get food.
Let's get out. See y'all next week, fuckers.